What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Big Val Opinion back with another live video. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. And most importantly, make sure you sub to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so that you be notified each and every time that your boy Big Val is going live, man. With that being said, let's get into this intro. Welcome to Big Val Opinion. Moderators, with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. This channel is a negativity-free channel, drama-free channel, and we are here to push the message out. We will not be distracted. So with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. Welcome to Big Val Opinion Platform. Yo, 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 what it do, what it do? It's your boy Big Val Opinion. Back with another live video. And tonight is the night that we have the conversation. Tonight is the night that we have the conversation, man. With Father's Day shortly approaching, I decided tonight, I would dedicate the live to single fathers raising children, And what's up, Coco, A-Child, Angela? How's it going? Tonight live will be, hopefully, we can get the chat to chime in, give advice, help us out. With some advice about single father, raising children, especially the single mothers out there or family-oriented families, anyone with advice, to help single fathers out here raising children on their own, being the only parent in the household. What kind of advice could you all give? I know this been a conversation. This been a conversation that I've wanted to bring to the channel for quite some time. Just really was trying to find the perfect time to bring this type of conversation into the conversation that we have, and understanding how important. Also understand how important parenting is when it comes to raising our children. How's it going, Miss April? Understanding the responsibilities of raising our children. Raising our children in a proper manner, a proper fashion, a respectable manner, a respectable fashion. And I do also understand that, hey, we can raise our children the best we can. We can tell them all the do's and don'ts to life. But still in all, that child has to grow up, and that child will one day have to make decisions for themselves. So hopefully tonight we can have a good, healthy conversation when it comes to parenting, and especially being a single father, taking on the role of both parents. You know, I understand that it ain't controversy. I don't expect it to gravitate like other things does, but I do wish to have the conversation. I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm not gonna dodge it. It's time. It's time we have that talk. You know, I see it so much every day. Like I see kids every day, man, and I look at them. I see kids every day on social media. If it ain't Facebook, Instagram, I don't have a TikTok, YouTube, and I see a lot of people, a lot of parents are allowing their children to do certain things that when I was a child, we just weren't able to do. I wasn't able to do a lot of what I see children doing in today's society, which makes parenting, you know, is already hard enough being a parent as a single mother. It's hard enough being a parent as a single father. It's even hard being a parent when there's two parents in the household, when you have a system outside of the home that's telling the children that it's okay for certain incidents to take place. You know, and I can speak on certain things because I've lived it. I've seen it. I've been in it. You know, I can speak from experience. So, just a little bit about me. A little bit about me. I'm a father. I've been a father. My oldest son is about to be 15 years old. So I've been a father for about half. Well, I want to give my age up, but I've been a father for quite some time. Um, I'm not with neither of my children mother, but I'm not a distant father. I'm a very active father when it comes to my children. It's gonna be phone calls every day. It's gonna be FaceTimes. I'm aware of a lot of the things that goes on with my children. Also understanding that I don't like the simple fact that the distance is what it is, but at the same time, you know, uh, I trust my kid's mother and their decision making to do what's best for our children. And always, I can say that, I am included in decisions when it comes to my children, which is a good thing that I feel, um, which speaks, it means a lot for me. The simple fact that, that my kid's mother would call and run things by me when it comes to decision making and different things like that. Um, but the one thing in this lifetime that I can say, the one thing in this lifetime that I can say, me myself personally, that I wasn't prepared for whatsoever. And I say, out of the 15 years of me being a father, the one thing that I wasn't prepared for was me having to raise one of my children without their mother living. That is the one thing that I can say I wasn't prepared for whatsoever. Um, I've I've seen a lot in my life. I've been through a lot in my life. I was raised by a single mother. I knew my father. I also was raised by my grandmother. I was raised by my grandfather. A lot of good, a lot of things was instilled in me as a child from my grandmother, from my grandfather, a little bit from my mother. But family dynamic, having that family dynamic when I was growing up helped produce the product that y'all see when I come onto this platform and talk to y'all as Big Vi. You know, and I understand too. I tell my son all the time, I tell my children all the time. I was a child before. I was hard headed. I didn't listen. I remember when my mother used to tell me things when I thought she was just talking crazy, talking outside her head. I remember those days. But I also remember the time when I became an adult at 21, 22, 23, 24 years old, when I had to go back to my mother and tell her, Mama, you was right. You know, Grandma, you was right. Papa, you was right. Because I remember being a kid at 13, 14, 15, thinking I knew it all and thinking I was ready for the world, not understanding what I had waiting on me on the other side of 18. That's when reality kick in. That's when that reality kick in. So I'm talking a little bit about myself right now. And so a lot of me, I see a lot of me in my children. I see a lot of my personality. I see a lot of my attitude. And I be asking myself, man, I wonder, like, is this how my mama used to feel when she used to try to tell me stuff? And man, I was hard headed. And, you know, when I got to smelling myself and thinking I was grown or having a little girlfriend and different things like that, I understood that my attitude changed. So I understand, and as a parent now, as a kid, it was all fun and games for me as a kid. But I tell y'all, let me show y'all. It was all fun and games to me as a kid, no lie. It was all fun and game. But as a father now, a lot of them things that my mama used to tell me that I have to sit down now and tell my children, I promise y'all, I'm not ready. I am not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. So uh I did drop the link in the chat tonight. I'm gonna do it a little different. So, if someone wanna come on and like give some advice or anything that could help you know what I'm saying, on this journey called parenting. Um we can have that conversation, but I tell y'all what though. Uh I remember a lot of things as a child when I was growing up. Now that I am a parent, I feel like my mother now. I feel like my mother, especially when it comes to cleaning and different things like that. My mother I used to call my mama the general. You know what I'm saying? My mama was like a general. But the crazy part was I was taller than my mama, but I was afraid of that woman. I was taller than my mama, but I was afraid of her because my mother, she didn't take no BS. She didn't take no BS. So that I can say, you know, A lot of times I was hard headed. A lot of times I didn't listen when I should have listened. But I tell you what, I thank my mother every day. I thank my grandmother each and every day. I thank my grandfather. I thank all of the people in my community. I think I thank all of those people in my community who took out the time to pull me to the side when they saw me out in the streets getting ready to fight, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, knowing that I was way better than that kid that I was portraying at the time, and pulled me to the side and say, "Man, get your butt over here, man. You a star athlete on a football team. You the starting running back. You starting third baseman. You know, you can't be out here in these streets wilding like this, fighting and things like that, man. That don't look good. You on the newspaper, newspaper every other week or so as player of the week. Come on, man. So shout out to those people who saw something in me that I didn't see when my mama was at work and I was coming home, supposed to be on my way home from school, but I got my dukes up, want to fight, get it in real quick. so now, so now as a father, right? Now I feel like all I do is fuss, man. I'm telling y'all, all I do is fuss, man. Now I'm sitting here that I be telling myself when I go in my room and be like, man, I remember I used to complain about my mama fussing all the time. Now listen at me as a father. Now all I do is fuss. I mean, from the time I walk through the door, I'm fussing about something. What up, Jeff?
Yo, what up, big bad?
What's going
Peace
on,
and
brother?
blessings, bro. I have nothing much, man. I really enjoy this topic today, man. Salute to the single fathers, man. Peace and blessings, to everybody in the chat, partner body. Yeah, I mean, I love this topic here, man. Salute to you. And I know, brother, Sir McGill, another single dad. I was just sitting back thinking, like, man, they don't get enough light shine on it. You know what I'm saying? For the fathers that really like hold it down, and like my son just graduated 8th grade this past weekend.
Oh man, mine graduated eighth grade too. On the 25th last month.
Oh
That's
wow! Oh, so we
yeah,
we both got some high schoolers now.
yeah. My oldest son going to the 10th grade, and then he going to the ninth grade. Yeah, the one that
Oh,
my son that live with me, who's actually my junior, he's going to be a freshman. And they messed him up because he should have been a freshman this year. But coming from Chicago to where we at now, they put him back in the eighth grade. You know, I guess because they have some state mandated test or whatever that they have to take according to their curriculum. So he had to redo the eighth. He had to redo the seventh grade over again. So he should have been going to the 10th grade as well. But we can't fuss with the system and what they got in place. We gonna continue to do what we supposed to do and get the work done.
right, right. That's all that matters. Can't do. I heard Kel say something like, "Hey, you can't do nothing about nothing. You can't do nothing
Nah,
about
I can't argue with him. I told him, man, you better get in there, do what you're supposed to do, or your sister and brother gonna be catching up to you.
it." Yeah, man. So I just really was just typing in to listen because I wanted to actually get my son for high school, and it's still an option to do that, but he rather stay where he at. He say, I know it got a lot to do with he just had a brand new sibling, and it's hard leaving your situation and moving on to something else, but uh I salute brothers like yourself that step up to the plate and carry, because it is very important, especially for I mean for boys and girls, that the father is present. That's
Uh-huh.
a father figure. You know what I'm saying, to step up and take care of the business, and you know what I'm saying. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man. So salute to you, bro.
Oh, definitely, man. My kids is the work. I mean, my kids is the engine behind me, man. I always say, I can only imagine, if it wasn't for them, what decisions or what direction my life would have went in. I really can't speak on it. I can only speak on what happened. You know, 2 years ago, I like I say, man, I never envisioned myself being in the position that I am in now, man. I was just out here, being a father, which I've always been to my children. Went to trucking school, got my CDLs. I worked in the pipeline, and I spent a lot of time off working because I'm used to making a decent amount of money for a living. I can say myself personally, since about 2012, so we going back to 2012, I've never made under $60,000 a year. So coming from where I come from in Louisiana, man, the average household income is about $16,000 to $20,000 a year. So imagine graduating high school, leaving the state, moving somewhere where I'm making more money than the people who was teaching me, that was telling me because of my classroom behavior that I wasn't gonna be nothing, wasn't gonna make it. I've heard all those things before. Because I was real life an asshole for a kid, man. I was I was a knucklehead, man. And then when I got a girlfriend, I became unstoppable, man. Because you know how that go when you start smelling yourself. You supposed to be home at a certain time. I'm breaking the rules. Yeah, I take the ass whooping when I get home. I know I'm gonna get one, so I might as well hang out as long as I can.
Right.
So I know I'm not exempt from the shit that my kids gonna put me through because I put my mama through it. Listen, grandma was living with grandma was like heaven. Grandma didn't put too much pressure on me, but living with mama, oh man, mama say you be here at 3:30, you better be here at 3:30. Now 3:31, 3:32.
Man, that's a fact.
What up, Sir Miguel?
Sir Miguel, what's up, bro?
What's up, my brothers? How y'all doing this evening?
All right, all right.
Good, good. I just want to chime in a little bit. Still up here working, but all is well.
Already, man. We having a conversation tonight, man. And I'm just giving a little rundown about my situation, and how me seeing a lot of myself in my children, especially my son, like, man, he like me and him, we be having a great debates, man. And I'd be like, dude, I'm finna punch you in your mouth, man. But then I had to remember, like, I remember my mom used to do the same. I used to do my mama the same way. My mama told me, "Oh, you ain't gonna realize what the hell you doing until you have your own kids." And I was like, "Man, what the hell you talking about in my head?" And now that I
Mhm.
got my own kids, I be having to pick up that phone and call my mom. Like, "Mom, remember you said that? Man, I'm about to beat the shit out of this boy."
DB Wild Wild, Miss April Showers, how y'all doing? Yeah. But yeah,
And
man.
good evening to all the people in the chat.
Just the everybody in the chat. That's what I was just speaking about you too, bro, Sir Miguel, because I know
Yep.
you got your son as well, man. So I want to salute to you and give you your flowers, man. Single fathers don't get enough,
His
shine.
son just graduated. His son about to graduate or just graduated too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah. He about to be a freshman this coming August.
All three of
It's
us
been
got freshmen on the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My son just graduated eighth grade too.
congratulations to both of y'all, man. It's been
Congratulations to y'all as well.
it's been a whirlwind, man. Y'all heard me, say it before. I have a son who's on a Asperger's spectrum, and it's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of patience, there's a lot of redirect, a lot of adjustments. Some stuff is on the fly. Uh, Dealing with a 14-year-old who damn near look like he 18 with a smart mouth, all that good stuff, man. So sometimes I have to be careful what I say, how I say it. And just as of late, man, we've been having these long adult conversations, and it's funny because sometimes you think he don't pay attention, but he's very attentive, very, always looking around, and you think he may not be listening, but he questions
everything. Man,
everything,
my son,
everything.
my
So
son.
I'll tell anybody, man, especially you know a father who's in their kid's life, daily, man, just keep the grind, keep the press, because I'm not only fighting with the system, but I'm fighting with the school district, teachers, and all this other kind of stuff. And a lot of times, man, I can give you a perfect example. A normal kid can finish his assignment 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it take me and my son going through stuff for 2 hours just to sometimes get 3 or 4 problems completed. You understand what I'm saying? Because of his attention span, and a lot of times his mind is going faster than than pen to paper and stuff like that. So it's time consuming, and for me to deal with it, even when I was going to school, working on both my master's degrees at the same time, sitting at the table doing my homework plus job related work plus help with his work, man. Sometimes I wouldn't go to bed to sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning and still get up at 5:30
Mm,
to make
mm,
sure he good, and all this other kind of stuff. And then on top of that, he has cystic fibrosis, so you have to treat that, all that kind of stuff, man. So for me, it's just a grind in itself, and I wouldn't trade it in for nothing in the world, man. Because not only has it made me a better human being, but it has made me more patient. I already have patience, but it's made me more patient with some other people that I deal with. So at the end of the day, man, I enjoy being a father, dude. And if I could have more kids, I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3, but wishful thinking. But where I'm at today, he's the baby. So once he get done, man, that's it.
mm. Man, bless you,
Mhm.
brother. Because I know, like you said, I was thinking that the level of patience that you just have to have in that situation, and to do what you have to do, and also tend to a child. You know what I'm saying, and make sure that they straight. And man, that is to be super saluted and celebrated. So man,
Most
both
definitely.
y'all brothers, man.
Man,
And
imagine.
Look,
I wanted mine, because I'm like, man, you know, high school, I want to be, it's still on the table, so hopefully I could get them. But if not, it's all good. I sacrificed and put him through private school since kindergarten, and you know, it was a struggle to get that, just to do that and still be on child support and all that. You
Man,
know,
yeah,
been
that's a
doing it, man.
tag.
I did I did the child well, I've been doing the child support system for like I say my oldest son 15, man. I did it for a long time. I remember times when literally, man, I like I said, I've been working decent jobs since really got into working, man. In 2012 was what I really say that was my first real job. But guess what though? I remember working my first job with my grandfather, man. My first job I ever had, I remember looking at my paycheck and seeing $5.25 an hour. I remember seeing that as a young man, 18, 17, 18 years old. So I didn't have my first kid until I was 20. So when I had my first son, really not understanding what I'm about to go through. I'm really not understanding how my life is about to change, and at this time I was still back and forth between it's cold as hell in Minnesota. I'm going back to Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in between the back and forth between the states. But in the midst of it, I have a son. So I'm still back and forth in between the states because I'm like, okay, well, I got a son, boom, boom, But eventually I had to settle, my uncle told me you gonna have to settle down and find something and get yourself settled in because you gotta be there. And it's like as soon as I settled down, found a job and start, becoming more active, then the first thing happened is you on child support. Like damn, like you ain't even gave me a chance to be a
Man,
father.
I swear to God,
You
like
know,
he,
and I understand. The explanation is I didn't have no choice. Well, I understand. I didn't have to do nothing but understand. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ain't had no choice, but the first time I go down here, I'm not understanding what's going on. They asking me all these fucking questions. I'm like, whatever. I've never been inside of a courtroom before, or whatever this fucking. I didn't know nothing about it, so I'm okay into shit that I don't even know I'm okay into.
Mm.
I leave out of here. These people say, "Oh, you got to pay $880 a month." Like, what the fuck? Like, now I'm up here living in a place where the cost of living is through the roof. You know, it's just me. So then I have my third son, where his mama say, "Well, I have." She said she had to. She was forced to do what she had to do, as she say. And there's nothing against her because I have great relationships with all my kids, mama. And when we went, now at this point in life, when we was able to go back inside of that place and show these people the family structure, even though we're not together, we are a team, and was able to resolve that situation. But I remember at one time, man, I was paying $1,500 a month in child
Right.
support. Literally had to give up my crib, had to re-strategize. You know, because the way I was living, I wasn't living accustomed to the system. I was making the money, but I was spending it. So when they hit me with this, 1,500 a month, like, damn, I ain't had nothing to fall back on. And then what happened was my job ended up shutting down for asbestos. So I'm like, damn, if the job finna be shut down for 60 to 90 days, if I'm getting unemployment, shit, child support gonna take all of the unemployment. Unemployment ain't gonna give me more than 1,500 a month.
Mm.
So that's how I ended up getting into the pipeline industry. You know, I had to do what I had to do. So, but still, it's just me at this time. But I'm still, I'm going around, man. One thing I do, my kids' mama always, they always understand. Birthdays, I'm traveling. Holidays, I got different kids. My kids have different mamas. So if I'm spending Thanksgiving in one place, I'm gonna spend, Christmas at one place. I'm gonna split. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna visit. Birthdays, I'm always be there. Holidays, I'm gonna show up. And work it out to where I'm able to come and visit all my kids throughout the year during the school term. I'm gonna make time to pop up during the school year because I'm gonna come out to the school. I'm gonna see what you're doing. I'm gonna talk to your teachers. I'm gonna see what your behavior been. And I can call my boys. They'll tell you. My dad came to the school. My teacher told my dad I was acting a fool. Oh, I got them together real quick. You go back to school and show this teacher how smart you really are. You become the best student in the class. You the student. You become a student of the second half of the year.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
That's one thing you can't play about.
I remember one time, man. I'm a year back. I say this. I let Sir Miguel get in a little bit. I went to visit my son in Ohio. He had been acting a fool in school, and I said, "Man, and I used to tell him I'm gonna pop up on you." So I finally decided to pop up on him. He had got in trouble, so I still gave him a pass. Me being I'm like, man, I just don't want to come here and whoop my son, man. I ain't been here, in a few months or so I don't want to come and just whoop him. So I try to talk to him like, hey, man, just man, you gotta come, you gotta chill out, man. You give your mama a hard time. She can't stay at work because you getting kicked out of class X, Y, and Z. So I stayed there for about 2 or 3 days. About 3 days I stayed there. So I get ready to head back home. I drop him off at school, have a conversation with him. So I'm driving on the highway. Man, I'm about 2 hours out. Get a phone call from his mama. He done got put out of school. I said, what? Bust the exit. U-turn back the other way. Drove 2 hours back. He at home chilling. He thinking I'm gone. I was. But when I told his mama, I said, okay, I hung up the phone. I got off on that exit ramp, turned back, and went the other way, 2 hours back the other way. When my truck pull up in that driveway, you can see a deer in the headlights, his eyes so big through the window. Got my belt out there fucking back of that car. I went in there. I told his mama, don't you say a damn thing. But I promise you, you are not finna have this problem no more. When I told his ass up, he was about 7. He 11 now. He talk about that ass whooping to this day.
Hey,
He tell my other, you don't want dad to whoop y'all. Y'all better stop. you know, he,
hey, ain't nothing like when you know when cause you got to really do messed up for daddy to whoop your ass.
yeah, man,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to show tough love. Then I had to turn around and drive 2 hours back. I got a 12-hour drive home. I had to turn back around and come back to pay you a visit. You know, and I had to make sure I got it right. But guess what? That like I say, that day transformed his whole attitude, his whole behavior, and everything. Because he realized, like, man, my dad ain't gonna play. And his mom say, you know, if I call your dad, he'll come. And my son knew this. Me living 12 hours away, my son knew in the back of his head, if my mama called my dad, he gonna come.
Now just imagine if she didn't have you to call to whoop his ass when he needed to get his ass whooped. It would
Right?
have been a downward spiral.
That
You
was
know what I'm
smart.
saying?
And this, and it's nothing against the stepdad. And me and him had to have a conversation, because my son would do things, and I would tell his mom like, "Hey, take," because I bought his game, I bought his TV, take it away from him. The stepdad would be like, "Okay, well, me and the mom were like, well, he shouldn't have no devices or anything." So the stepdad decided he thought different. So me and him had to have a man to man conversation. I'm like, well, you don't reward bad behavior, man. You know, and I understand. This is your wife, and this is our son, and I'm not trying to step on your toe. But I'm telling you, if you keep rewarding this type of behavior, he's gonna keep presenting this type of behavior. You
Hmm.
have to stop it. But once I whooped his ass, I'm telling you, it was night and day difference
Man, saying the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the
for a
child.
child. That's
Mhm.
it. That's it. And I thank God that his mama was able to put her feelings to the side and allow me to be a father at that moment and do what was best for our son. Because I tell my son that live with me right now today, you would rather me, you would rather me do the hollering and the fussing while I'm trying to correct the behavior that you are presenting versus you becoming an adult or a 17, 18-year-old adolescent and you fuck up. And when you go inside of that institution, you ain't gonna have a choice. You gonna wish you would have listened to your dad.
Hmm. Say, yeah, say that.
Mhm.
I'm trying to help you avoid those when you have to make your bed up. You have to when you got somebody in this cell with you who don't like dirty and filthy shit. Then what? You fighting every day. You don't have to live like that. But I'm trying to teach you some behaviors that you can take right now. If you pick up what I'm putting down right now, this shit can last you for a lifetime. You know how impressive it is when a woman come over to a man's house and it's clean and it's
Mm.
neat and everything's in order, smelling good. I mean, this is shit. This is how I am. Most people come to my house, they be like, "Damn, a woman live here."
Mhm.
Right? Why you say that? Who decorated? I'm like, me, man. Who picked this shit up? I did. With help of my, had to help a little bit here and there. But I'm clean and I'm one of those, I'm organized. If you go in my closet, man, like it's I'm one of them, man. And my brother say, my brother, my brother say I'm OCD, whatever the fuck the shit called. But
That's me.
I just like shit to be clean, man. I
Yeah,
don't, I don't like
absolutely.
But with my son, kids feel as though they got time. And that's the biggest thing I hate the most is that my son feel as though he has time. And I keep telling him, man, nobody know what time is. You can be saying you got time this minute, and the next minute it expire.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't just wake up one day and say, damn, I'm a single father. I woke up to a missed phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Say, God damn, this person ain't never called me. I look over, I'm like, man, I just got a phone call. I said, shit, I don't even want to call it back. I just call back in the morning. Call back in the morning. What's up? What's going on? That man said to me, Denise gone. I'm like, what? Man, was she the mood again? Because I'm used to my son mama moving and shit. You know, I went I went 2 years, about 3 years without seeing my son due to differences between me and his mama. And I tried, man, filing. Man, I got family court orders, paperwork I'm filing, trying to get visitation, trying to get some type of visitation rights to see my son because I understood how important it was for me to be in his life. So on May 23rd, that was 2021, man, I never forget it. Getting that phone call and, say that she wasn't here. And I understood, man. I drove all the way from Fort Worth, Texas to fucking Valdosta, Georgia, 16 hours nonstop. I came and went and got my son. Shit.
Wow. My condolences for one, brother, and salute to you for two, and for three, man. You are a, excellent brother for what you. I know to you it's like, man, this is my son, it's my child, but you rarely see men. You see a lot of men, they'll let their child go to the system before they
Fact.
do what you did. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So
it
that,
wasn't even question. People called me like, man, what you gonna do? I said, what you mean what I'm gonna do? Shit, I'm on the highway. I'm already gone.
man, salute, bro, for real. And to be, blessed enough to be in position to take your child and raise him
But that's
is
the
also
whole that's the
take the hat
crazy
off
thing about it, Jill.
to you and Sir Miguel, because y'all men are doing an amazing job, man. Y'all brothers is doing amazing.
Man, that's the crazy part. I didn't even have none of it. I wasn't ready. But at the same time, I looked at the situation as I remember living in Minnesota. I was living in Minnesota, but I was involving, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And one day I just said, man, I'm gonna go back down south and help my mom out. And I just felt like, and I looked at the spiritual realm of this whole thing. It seemed like God knew something was gonna take place that was out of my control. And I say that to say, when I moved here to help take care of my mother, I was living with my mother at the time. I moved here in February. I got a job in April, living with my mother, helping my mother still. Next thing you know, May come, then boom, I'm hit with this. Like I wouldn't. I was still trying to save a little money, to then go get a place, and I had just went got me a new car because I was like, damn. In my head, I'm saying if I knew this would have happened, this was finna happen, I would have went got a place instead of going to get a car. But at the same time, my car that I had was giving me a little trouble, so I went and got a car. So when I look at when I look at it and be like, damn, well, if I wouldn't have got that new car, I wouldn't have been able to go get my son. So it was like so many different ways I looked at how things just played out for the betterment in that situation. But when I went and got my son, eventually, we had help along the way, and she was tremendous help for us, and then I ended up getting my own place for me and my son to try to put him in his comfort zone where he didn't feel like he have to walk on eggshells, and come to understand, for a long period of time where he was with his mom, that my son hadn't even had his own room since he was about 7 years old, 7, 8 years old. So to be able to put him in a position, you have your own room, you have your own bathroom, this is your part of the house. You know, like that was, man, that felt so good to me. And my other kids called, Dad, I want to come. Come on, your daddy got his own place. Even it may not be big enough, but we got couches, air mattresses. Y'all can have my bed if you need me. Your daddy got his. But that's when life started for me. I honestly can say life really started at that moment of me receiving that phone call, is when I understood that this is serious.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, and that right there, man. One thing about it, the sacrifices that you know parents, not just mother, father, all parents make. Man, you got to know that God, you no matter what you going through the work and what you do for them babies, you gonna forever be straight. You gonna forever be blessed. You gonna
Mhm.
make it through whatever storm come your way because you taking care of not only your children but God's children. And
Hmm.
that's how I that's how I always looked at it. People like, man, people go through, we go through what we go through on a daily basis. But I know people that take care of their responsibility because it's not a job, it's a
It's a
responsibility.
responsibility, and some people look for
Exactly.
kudos and accolades because they take care of their children. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
What you're
Absolutely.
supposed to do.
When,
You
when
know.
you in accordance with the universe and what God law is, you gonna forever be straight. So anybody that's out there that's not in their children's life, you doing yourself a disservice.
You know what, Jeff? It's funny you said that, man, because I had my daughter at 31. Then my son came years later, but it was funny because in my 20s, ripping, running the street, partying, living it up.
Mm,
But as soon as I found out my ex at the time was pregnant, I literally had to go to God and say, you know what? I gotta be there regardless. And it was like a light switch, just boom. My ex can tell you to this day, she never had to get up in the middle of the night, change no diapers, no nothing. Got up, did all of that. She never had to worry about going to pick her up from daycare. By the
mm,
time she got to the crib, she was fed, bathed, the whole 9 yards. So for me, man, I looked at it as not only a gift, but a model to show my daughter as she got older that daddy gonna be there no matter what. Because a lot of times, man, you can hit and miss when you're not really there for your kids.
mm.
And my daughter can tell you to this day, about to be 23, that
Bless.
she can come and tell me any and everything. Even when in school, she'll call me and say, Dad, I got in trouble. I said, what happened? She explained it to me. I said, okay, we'll talk about it when we get home. Never had to really raise my voice or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So now that she's grown, give her that wiggle room. But I always tell her, you always got a place called home, no matter where you are, period,
Mm,
point blank. So don't ever get to the point where you think you can't come to me and ask me for nothing if you get into a jam, because it is what it is at the end of the day. You can always be my baby girl no matter how you look at it, no matter how old you get, and so
mm,
forth and so on. And it's the same thing with my son. He's turned out to become a beautiful young man. And the beauty of it is, man, when you can sit back and you can look at your kids when they grow up, because the way I grew up, my daddy was there, but wasn't not really there. You can have somebody in the house, but not really emotionally attached to you to a certain extent.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely.
Uh, My mother was the disciplinarian. I think I was damn near scared of her than I was more scared of God. You understand
I'm
what I'm
telling you,
saying?
my mama was a general, man. I call my
And
mama a general.
my mother was damn near 6 feet. You know what I mean? Heavy handed like a motherfucker. Excuse my language, but we had a we had a beautiful relationship as well. But the beauty of my relationship with my mom was always a spiritual thing because I knew along the way when she left this earth, she was gonna be my sister in heaven when I get there. And what's funny is she always said that she wanted to at least see one of her children graduate from college before she left this earth. I was the first one to graduate from college. And almost a year and a half to 2 years, she passed away right after that. And
Mm,
sometimes I sit back and I say, well, damn, I didn't get that much time afterwards. But then I had to sit down and reflect, man, even years later. And I think about it, man, that it was like that year and a half while she going through chemo, still going to work, still going to college, me and her sitting down having conversations about the word. And what's funny about that, man, she deposited more into me in a year and a half than she did when I graduated from 1 to 25. It was almost like she was giving me something that I needed for later on in life. And everything she told me has came to pass, man. And it trips me out. It trips me the fuck out. And I'm still amazed when I read the letters that she left me before she passed away. And I go back and I look, I said, damn, mom, you was right.
mm.
And then to
Man,
look at my children and to see some of the things they do, they sort of act like her in certain moments and so forth and so on. It's just crazy, man. But I'm blessed and I'm fortunate. I'm a fighter. And to you, Jeff, and to Big Vibe, just to hear you guys' story, man, we ain't alone, man. We doing the damn thing. And there's a lot of other fathers that's doing it, don't get credit. Like I tell my kids, I don't give a damn about Father's Day.
No.
That don't mean shit to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm a father every day. You don't have to do nothing for me.
man,
As long as you're a productive person and you are recognizing the eyes of God of what your purpose is in life, that
thank
means more to me than one goddamn day. Because at the end of the day, if you only gonna think about me one day out the year, then the rest of the year don't even matter.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
that's what I'm saying.
So I don't get caught up in the oh this, that, and the third and yada yada yada. That to me, look here, man. When you lay down with a woman or a man, you have kids, it's not your job. It's your responsibility to take care of your kids. Stop
Absolutely.
using this innuendo. Oh, taking care of kids is a full-time job. No, it ain't. It's your responsibility because 8 hours of the day they're at school anyway. So the
Mm-hmm.
school system got them for a little bit. Now, if you homeschooling, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, it's your sole duty and responsibility. It is not your goddamn job. And I hate when people say that. It's almost like you on the clock. We all on the clock,
Man,
kids and all.
yeah, that's when I say a job. I'm not to interject, but I'm like, man, let me correct that because that's not a job. That's a responsibility, and a lot
Mhm.
of people get that confused. You know,
Hmm.
They
hey,
want accolades and pats on the back, man. Hey, I seen you bought your boy a pair of shoes, man. Well, shit, you supposed to. The ones on his feet got that toe busting out of them. You
yeah,
know?
You know what I'm saying?
but
So,
it's just so refreshing, to see, you know, brothers that just get that concept and just step up to the plate like yourselves, you know what I'm saying? And because, I mean, we know the stigma about, us as black men in America or what have you. And here is uh three, examples, prime examples right here of men that are in their children's lives that are doing what they're supposed to do and going above and beyond what they would say the Call of Duty is. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And it's just refreshing to see that it's not like nobody's looking for any accolades. This is just an example for people to see, man. Like we can have these conversations as adult men, and people can respect it, and it's mature conversation, an adult conversation, and we
Mhm.
have stories. And man, we just like you said, after Father's Day, I ain't gotta go get me a Father's Day shirt, best dad in the world shirt. I just want to see the kids be the best human beings that they can be. That's the biggest reward that I could ever receive.
Because let me say this real quick, Jeff, because when I got laid off in 2008, I came home and I told my kids what the situation was. My daughter looked at me. She said, "Daddy, what you gonna do?" I said, "We're gonna be fine." My son wasn't really talking a whole lot, but what was weird was I had to go to interviews because I couldn't afford childcare and took my son with me.
Mm,
And the lady looked at me. She said, "Wait a minute." She said, "You go do an interview. We're gonna watch your son." So I come out. She was like, she said, she said, "I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life."
mm.
She said, "You would be a man to bring a child to an interview. You still digging and still trying to make a way, huh?" I said, "Yeah, I am."
Well, that is beautiful, beautiful.
So when I graduated in 2012 and got my master's degree, my son and my daughter were there to see me walk across the stage.
Mm,
Just them two.
excellent.
And I want them to see that for a reason. No matter what the grit, the grind, the look, the late nights, tired, sick, the whole 9 yards, having surgery in between. To hear my son say, "Congrats, daddy," just that little
Mm,
voice within the crowd, and to see them stand up and cheer me on, just them two,
wow,
that was one of the most happiest days of my life.
man, just imagine how much inspiration they'll never forget that they saw their
You know what I'm
father,
saying?
man, walk across that stage, man. That's beautiful.
And it was funny because right before I got on, my son said, "Hey, daddy, how many degrees you got?" I said, "Three. What's going on? Where they at?" I said, "On the thing." He's looking. He was like, and it was funny because I never thought he would mention. He said, "Well, wasn't you working on your doctorate degree at one time?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, why you ain't finished?" I said, "Man, I was trying to take care of y'all." I
Mm,
said, "But one day I'll go back and finish." And he said, "You know what?" He said, "Even if I just get a bachelor's degree, Daddy, I'll be satisfied." Damn,
mm,
I almost fucking teared up before I even clicked the damn thing.
man,
You understand what I'm saying?
yes,
So
absolutely.
just paying attention, man, to those little things. He's watching me the whole time.
Man, you know what? Just just by you saying that, and just me seeing my son, graduate, and that's why I say fathers that's not in their children's life, you don't know what joy you missing. Like just to see, knowing that I brought my child to this school, and he only was in kindergarten, 5 years old, was scared. It was a new environment, and to see him, go through the grades, first grade, second grade, so on and so forth, and how he was timid at first, and then now to see his confidence to the point where he's standing on a podium and he's giving a graduation speech, and
Mm,
teachers and everybody is like saying how much of a real rounded young man he has become over the years. That fills your heart with so much fulfillment. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Just see that, you know, um, your children blossom and grow into young adults, and so that you robbing yourself of that experience, man. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Get involved in your children's lives if you are not, because I mean
mm-hmm,
that's a feeling that is priceless. You can't put a price on that, and vice versa. Like you said, like for your children to witness you achieve goals that you set out for yourself, that's going to inspire them for the rest of their life. Like my daddy is a winner. He's a survivor. He's an achiever. So it's in me. I know it's in me. So I'm going to achieve. I'm going to strive. I'm going to survive. I'm going to continue to grow. So, hats off to you, my brother. That's all I want to say. I yield back.
No, I appreciate the sentiments, brother. Like I said again, man, we've had these conversations before amongst us as well. But I
Mm-hmm.
tell any man, when you have children and you go to God and you pray over their life, God gonna take care of it. He gonna take care of their soul. All he wants you to do is instruct them, guide them, lead them. And no matter how hard it get, no matter how tired you may be, you keep putting up the fight, man. Because we know we have some strong women out here that's doing the damn thing and so
Absolutely.
forth and so on. But when a father can stand tall and his children can see him walk in stride with his head up and be lifted up by the Most High to continue to grind and put in the work to make sure his kids have a roof over their head, to provide for them, to put to to speak in their life positive things, and to watch that energy grow from the inside to the outside. It's a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing. Just seeing childbirth alone is a beautiful thing.
Mm,
And when you hold that loved one in your arms and you embrace them, that connection, that bond that you have when that child is laying on your chest as a small infant, you don't
right.
know what, if you ain't never experienced it, man, let me tell you something, it will change your life.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing, man, and I wouldn't trade none of it. None of it. I could be broken, goddamn homeless. I wouldn't
Mm.
trade none of it.
You can't put a price on that.
You understand what I'm saying? Key word, you can't put a price on it, man. And the beauty of it is, man, being a father is when you can look in your children's eyes and tell them, hey, I messed up, and they can look at you and say, you know what, daddy, it's okay.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of parents don't know how to sit down and teach their children about forgiveness or when they have shortcomings. And that's one of the things that I can honestly say me and my kids pride ourselves on. If we make a mistake, we go to each other and we apologize.
Oh, man, I'm so happy you said that because that is key. That is very key. That's when you know you have a real relationship with your kids. When you
Hmm.
when you don't have to put on a facade like, oh, I don't make no mistakes. So how could you question? No, I done made mistakes, and I done told my son, look, you could come to me and you could tell me. I want you to express to me how you feel about what just happened.
Hmm.
I know I was wrong, and I don't want you to have any regret. I want you to tell me how you feel, and I'm gonna listen to you. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get past this, and I keep that relationship. So that is very important. That's something that you know I wish I had with my father. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like certain things, like if we'd have just talked about it, you know what I'm saying? And I said, when I have children, I'm gonna make sure that I allow them to express themselves so they won't feel like, oh, it's some type of cutoff or it's no boundaries.
Hmm.
Long as you respect me as your father, we could talk about anything.
Facts.
Mhm. And I
Even
showed
if
my
you get in.
son. I cried in front of my son. Told him, like, shit, man, I'm a man, and I tell you, man, sometimes I feel defeated, but I show him that I'll never give up. You know,
Hmm.
I might
Mhm.
be defeated for
Hmm.
the moment, but I'm still fighting. Each and every day, I'm still trying to progress. I'm still trying to be the best version of myself, as Unc say. And sometimes you just have to. Goddamn, I feel like when you cry, you make room for new things to come. You got to get a lot of that shit off of your chest. That you holding in, and for your kids to see you at your most vulnerable moments, it shows them like it's okay. As a man, like it's okay to be tough, but it's okay to be, show that sensitivity as well. You know,
Mhm.
you don't have to go
Hmm.
around with no chip on your shoulder thinking everybody's against you, or you got to be angry all the time, or worry about how people look at you, portray you what they got to say about you. People gonna talk about you. People gonna do all this. I tell my son that all the time, but I say, but the most important thing is you doing what you supposed to do. I tell my son all the time, I say, man, no matter what you do in life, accountability, accountability is gonna be the key to you succeeding in life.
Mm-hmm.
Own up to your
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you fuck up,
Mm-hmm.
own up to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't stand behind your attitude. Don't hide yourself behind your attitude, feeling like everybody's against you. But I do understand you have been through something, and I do also tell him, I had a conversation with him. I say, man, I'm telling you as a man right now, I could pick up the phone and call my mom. I say, what you went through at 12 years old, bro, I ain't never experienced in my life. I said,
Mm.
you looking at something that if life goes the way that it's supposed to go, I say I might get to a point where you've been through. I say I'm gonna have to be on your shoulder. You gonna be consoling me,
Mm-hmm.
telling me dad is gonna be okay. You know, I watch my son, man. I don't. A lot of times, I be like, man, how you? I don't say it to him, but I be asking myself, how you do it?
Mm.
Man, my son, bro. I tell you, man, my son is a testament to my strength to
Mm.
see to see how my son, and I mean the dude's so smart, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous how smart he is, man. But I do see the side effects of what he went through as well because of his attitude and his nonchalantness. So, you know, but to deal with it is still, man, you still gotta go to school. You still have to be a son. You still have to do certain things. You still have to deal with society, you know, where people outside of home might not care like your dad that you lost your mom. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
getting
And
in.
you got grown adults that never get over the loss of the mother. Is the loss of a mother is that I can't. I think the rapper Nas put it the best. Your mother is the closest thing to God that you have on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
So for a child to endure that type of loss, it like you said, it's nothing short of amazing. That he's, you know,
You cut out, Jill. You back, Jill? What up, Unc?
Good evening,
okay, y'all,
nephew.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you back. You back. You had cut out.
Oh no, I was just saying the rapper Nas said that I was my bag. How you doing, brother Muse?
Brother
Man, good.
Muse.
Blessing to you,
Peace and
Crump.
blessings to you.
To you, Brother Miguel, and every single man and woman in the chat and your family. Blessing and grace and peace to everyone.
Yes, indeed. I was just, and I'm gonna fall back. I was just saying that for a child to endure the loss of a mother, I mean, and still be able to carry on, that's a testament to his strength and you as you stepping in and fulfilling what you're doing is helping him navigate through that whole process. And I know, like you being a strong brother that you are, man, he gonna be all right. You already know he gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? But they say the loss of your mother, your mother is the closest thing that you have on this earth. So I believe those sentiments to be true. So salute to all the mothers out there. I know we saluting the fathers, but the mothers, salute to all of the mothers out there. Um, that scenario, man, I can't do nothing but continue to say, man, I really appreciate your story, all you brothers' stories, and it motivates me to be even better man and a better father. So I'm gonna yield back on that. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I mean, and we all and we've been contemplating this conversation for quite some time because we all have a story to tell as a father, and we all have different perspectives because no two stories are gonna be the same. Uh, but what I do want to do is, I'm trying to navigate and create a lane where us as fathers can come on and we can speak. Just like when we started the live and you said, man, I just had my son graduate eighth grade going to high school. Then I say, shit, my son just graduated eighth grade going to high school too. And Sir Miguel come on, his son just graduated eighth grade going to high school too. So we out here celebrating
Yes, sir.
talking at the same time because we understand what a graduation means, especially for a minority child.
Mhm.
Where kids at their age are getting into all types of shit
Yeah.
Mhm.
out here. They graduating, and you got kids that should have been graduating that's out here on drugs, carrying guns, and
Yeah, you
I
got
feel sorry for them because it's them fathers that's not stepping up and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Going out there snatching your child. You see your child. I remember one time, boy, I'm out here, man. I'm out in the streets. I tell you, it wasn't my dad, it was my mom. I tell you, my mom was about 5 feet, but when she opened up mouth, she was about 6'4". But I'm telling you, man, I'm out here.
I know what that's like.
I'm out here about to fight, boy. I took my shirt off. I'm swearing up. All I hear is, Vashon, you bet not, motherfucker. And I look back, boy, you lucky my mama showed up. Boy, you lucky my mama. You lucky my mama showed up.
About to, I was about to flush your radiator.
I
You
hear
about to
my
get
name.
you
Nobody
about to get
call
this jumping cable. You about to get this jumping cable and have your
my
oil change.
name. Yeah. Nobody called my name like that but my mama, man. And I tell you, boy, I
Oh,
told that boy, we get to school tomorrow, I'm gonna tell your ass up, boy. I'm telling you, I deal with my mama when I get suspended, but I'm whooping your ass, man. But we have a lot of parents that's not going out there getting their children, man, and just allowing the streets to raise them. And the streets is what's going. The streets raise your children nowhere but to jail or in a goddamn grave.
man, it's sad,
Mhm.
bro. Like right now, and I'm pretty sure, brother Muse can attest to this. Like these kids out here in Chicago now at 14 or 15, the ages that they supposed to be graduating and going to freshman year, they out here carjacking left and right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's an epidemic right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these are kids that's doing this. You know what I'm saying? Left and right, and it's so sad because um when we become as black men, especially once we hit about 12, 13, and that voice start changing, the rest of society don't look as no kids no more.
Mm.
The kid might be out here doing something stupid, but it might cost them their life. You know what I'm saying? Because you run up on the wrong person trying to take their car, take their belongings, you already know what is gonna happen. You know? And it's like, damn, I didn't know that was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where are the parents at? They don't know
But
where
they
their kids.
they done
I could
became so quick to give up on their children now. And then the first thing, I'm gonna tell you, I'm sorry to cut you out, Jeff, but the shit I hate to hear, and there's no knock against mothers that's out there being mothers, but one thing I hate to hear is he just like his dad. And like that's a fucking excuse for you not to be a mother.
exactly.
And it's sad that the daddy that perpetuated the lifestyle that your child looked up to and want to be like. You didn't have the decency to say, "Let me clean up my image so my son won't try to be like me." I grew up around men that did shit in the streets and they kept it in the streets. When they came home, you never questioned what dad did.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shit, all I knew
Mm-hmm.
my granddad that worked at a goddamn Plain and Soul barbecue. He could have been the biggest dope dealer in the town.
Exactly.
But now these young dads are coming in the house smelling like backwoods, pants all down to their knees, and then you see the child grow up doing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
And here go the mama. He just like your goddamn daddy. And you just like his goddamn daddy too.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't
Yeah,
fuck brainwash both of y'all.
that's
Let me
tough.
let me go here.
It's
Uh,
it
Go ahead, Miguel. I yield back. Go ahead, Miguel.
it's funny because I was thinking about that young man up in I think it's DC or Maryland. I think they call him Baby K. 14 years old, got two murders on him already.
Mm.
And when I look at that, I'm sitting there saying to myself, where's mama? Where's daddy? That they don't know what the hell is going on with their child. And if they do know, they either gonna come out and say, "Oh no, he not a bad kid." See, there's a difference when you can admit if your child is really a fuck up. Don't go to court acting like they ain't did shit when you know they rap sheet started when they was 8 or 9. And by the time they 15, they damn near got damn near close to 3 felonies already. Something wrong with that picture.
Yeah.
See, it's an uphill battle when you're trying to fight the system and at the same time trying to raise your kid to keep them out of harm's way. And my question is, man, have we become so shallow that we don't even care about raising our boys anymore? Is it all about the bag? Is it all about the woman? Is it all about chasing tail? Because one or two things happen. Like we said earlier, you either gonna end up in jail or in the grave.
That's it.
So if you're gonna be a part of your child's life, man, you do everything you can to ensure that they go on the right path. Yeah, they're gonna have some bumps and bruises, but there's some stuff you can keep them you away from.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no excuses. The only excuse is when you don't try. But if you trying and putting your best forth effort, nobody can say shit. Nothing. That's no different than a dude who go out and rob and kill somebody. Then they have his funeral. He end up getting killed, and everybody want to say how good he was. Tell the goddamn truth. Don't lie at my funeral. At the end of the day, tell the truth. If
True.
not, I'll videotape and tell my own goddamn truth. You have some laughs, some cries in between, but don't lie. Tell the truth.
Exactly. That's the worst thing to do. That's the worst thing is like people want to, you know, when you living in a world that is absent of the truth, you constantly, you know, fail yourself. You know, like if you
Hmm.
if admitting the issue or the truth is the first step to going in the right direction when you're going in the wrong. You know,
Hmm.
but if you cannot go to step one to just admit, like, hey, this is what we're dealing with. These are the circumstances. Then okay, now we got somewhere to go. Now we can work on it.
Exactly.
If we consistently lie and try to cover up, that's why I always you know talk to kids like, hey, tell me the truth. I don't care how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I might be mad at the moment, but if you tell me the truth, I know how to deal with the circumstances. But if you don't, if you lie to me, I can't protect you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's very important. That the truth is told, so the issues can be addressed correctly.
Exactly.
Um, oh man, where do I start? Unfortunately, I don't have any children. Um, I did want children, um, and in those particular scenarios, spaces where I was in my life, it would not have been fair if children would have came about. If they would have, then I was raised with enough principles that we would have did what was necessary to navigate through that. But what up, man? But that didn't occur, and that troubled me for some time. But I think God helped me get some clarity on that. Probably the reason why I speak the way I do. Um, my father was picking cotton at 7 years old,
Mm,
so his
Mm.
whole and he left. I believe he told me. I remember. I think about 16 years old. Before he should have. You know, a lot of issues he had with his father. You know what I mean? And he didn't finish his schooling, but he was highly intelligent. You know what I mean? Just exceptional knowledge. And I think he always struggled with that time frame that he went through. You know what I mean? Because during that time, you still trying to prove that you a whole man, that you're not a quarter of a man, 3/5 of a man. You know what I mean? There are some
Mm-hmm.
things that he didn't. There are some things that he struggled with. You know what I mean? And he went on. He carried over to his adulthood. But one thing he did have is a phenomenal work ethic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, so him and mom did what they did. And then, my old man moved around, Miguel. He
Right on. Hey, hey, hey.
moved
I know
around.
that one for sure.
I'm gonna say it like that. He moved around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from my father's second marriage, but I'm my mother's firstborn. And I'm the fourth to the oldest child. And we lost my older brother, who we are 4 months apart. 4 months apart, born in the same year.
Mm.
We 4 months apart. So that I ain't got to explain none of that.
Right.
So you know what I mean. Y'all brothers. You know what I mean. The words. I don't think the dictionary have enough words, man, to describe what you brothers have said. And it's just an honor just to be on this platform to hear you, brothers. This is what is lacking in our community, man. And we got to just reestablish it. It's been an attack on the father in the community and in the home, and it's an evil spirit. You know what I mean? Because your relationship with your father helps you identify and understand your relationship with your heavenly father.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, I just said a lot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
Yes,
missed that.
sir.
I just
Yes,
said a lot
sir.
right
Yes,
there. So you
sir.
can understand why it's so rough and the system is so bent toward against. And then to deceive and manipulate women, you know what I mean, to use them to go and support against attacking the father, you know what I mean, is really demonic. It's really the trick of the devil. You know what I mean? Because we need
Mm-hmm.
one another. We were designed for one another to establish family. And both parents are needed for the balance of the child. It's both needed. It's both needed. We both have our own separate creational roles. So if I remove that headship out of the household, which is that priest out the household, then look at the damage. And that's why I keep always referencing OG Bobby Johnson. They don't even, I don't think they even make movies like that no more. And it may be intentional. You know what I mean? That was a
Mm-hmm.
powerful piece that they put together. And it showed the dynamic that what his mother experienced. Sometimes it's not always that degree or that scenario, but you still can relate to that particular dynamic. And then, the father, and for the mother to say, well, he was shot in the back trying to steal someone else's. He's gonna be just like his father and his grandfather. It gave you a little history there. So that was a pattern there. That was a pattern. And Bobby was gonna fulfill that same thing until that last time he got locked up. He wound up in a cell with Brother Ali, which was the best thing that ever happened to his life, which was the turning point. That's how I look at this platform. You know what I mean? That's how I look at this platform and what Big Five has established. You know what I mean? And these other brothers have come on and work beside him and put this out there. You know what I mean? Now, I can understand to a certain degree, but you brothers can understand to a bigger degree what Mr. Kelly is dealing with when he said, "I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids and I can't." You all know what that
Mm-hmm.
feels like. I can't relate to that, unfortunately. But in the spiritual realm, I have insight. I can relate to it in that particular aspect, Miguel. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know,
sir.
so, say these few things and then I yield back. I know what it's like to be told by your father, you dumb and you stupid and you'll never amount to nothing.
Hmm.
For years, at those crucial pivot points where that father is needed to show that boy what his manhood is, so that once he become a man, he able to navigate. Now there are some things that boy going to a man, you just want to experience on your own. But having a reference point, that's what the old man. Okay, yeah, and you still may have to go through that process to gain your own little. You see what I'm saying, Miguel?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
There's some things you can get me, and then some things I have to experience on my own. But because of the reference point, I'm still good. You follow what I'm saying? Even though I have to go through certain things, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
the lack of that, you know what I mean? And all you get is, but then look what I said, coming from someone who was born and raised in Mississippi during that time, you know what I mean? Born in 39. So you think about 49, you 10 years old. Before you got 10, you was picking cotton. So it did something to the psyche. You follow what I'm saying? Then you go on to adolescent, preteen, teen, teenager, young adult, your 20s and all like that. You know what I mean? Then you get married, you get kids, you do this one. You know what I mean? You can see some of the stuff. So I always felt like, man, I was birthed in the wrong family. You know what I mean? Like, man, why God, why, what is this all about? You know what I mean? And here,
Mm-hmm.
the attack and the back and forth, all of this. And God was doing something again that I didn't even know he was doing. Didn't even understand what God was, all of that. Father came to me, shared some information with me on some spiritual level. Never even knew he was even that. That was kind of confusing. Still didn't click. Still didn't click. Then an came one time and said, "You need God to call you to do something." Man, out of all the people on planet Earth, if that had to come, and if that is so, why he had to send it to this person?
Mm.
So what I'm saying, then a period of time where my old man was struggling, and I was there, making sure he was good, helping him. My old man was knocking the door, and it was something God was doing. Couldn't even like put my finger. Was totally oblivious, Miguel.
Mm.
And he knocked on the door and said, "Oh, can you pray for the old man?" What I'm
Mm.
talking about, you all, is forgiveness. You mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
Miguel. You mentioned that. See, we look at
Yes,
forgiveness.
sir.
We don't really understand forgiveness.
Hmm.
We
Right.
don't. We don't really. crux. We don't really understand the depth of what really forgiveness is, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
It,
saying?
it's
And have
it,
have somebody that you love and is your parent, but also you intimidated and you fear.
yes,
Not so
sir.
much of respect fear, and you fear them. You fear for your life for them.
Hmm.
God turned that dynamic around. Then you learn to not only respect him, but honor, appreciate, even though he had to make the sacrifice and went through the course he did and didn't have the form education he did, but yet accomplished and did what he did and had the knowledge that he had and wanted the best for you, that get something that no man can take from you. I would say, get something that no man can take from you. And
Hmm.
let it walk away. Like, okay, are you gonna like articulate that? Are you gonna explain that? You gonna give me a little bit more to work with? No,
They
you
didn't
could
know
not.
how.
You could not. I'm tell you why. Because you have to experience a little bit more life, and God has to do some stuff to you. That when that did click, you're gonna be like, oh man, that's what he was talking about. Then everything was just pouring like rainwater. Like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Finish some type of school, and old man came. You know, the old man proud of you. To hear my old man say that was like, wow. But all the dynamics, just me and him, everybody going, these just siblings over here, just siblings over there, everybody grown, they doing their thing, just over here like that. And I ain't gonna say I anticipated his demise or when he was gonna pass. I ain't saying I knew that, I'm not gonna tell that lie. Um, but I want to say he was giving up on life. Um, but you can tell he paced the floor a lot. We had a lot of talk, and when nobody else was around, the family was around. That years later after he passed, some siblings had an issue, and they still was holding stuff. Uh, but he had a lot of regrets. You know what I mean? And he said he tried to do the best that he could. Wow! Out of all the people, out of all the siblings, why did it have to be me? But
Hmm.
I'm not even. I couldn't even be privileged to even grace this platform had I not went through all those scenarios. And I'm just giving you little bits and I'm just giving you little bits and pieces. You know what I mean? And then my own
Mm-hmm.
personal experience and just life being a man and learning this job, learning this, and this and this and spiritual and coming to know God, all that together. Like, wow, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people want the anointing. They want to be gifted, Miguel. They want to be a blessing. They want to make an impact, but they have no idea. I'm gonna say it like this a year back. I listened to him and we talked about it. Um, and I'm like, I'm not gonna change my name. I'm not gonna change my lyrics. Why would I do that? That would just make me guilty, like everybody say. You know what I mean? You said we talked about it, and I feel that but I didn't think they had that part down. He said, but in the moment Ignition came out, then I got the record label. Hey, we got to do a photo album cover. We got to get this. Why ain't got no makeup person? Well, bring your own makeup. You know what I mean? This and that. He said this got real ridiculous. He said, why? But he would. I said, wow, look at this. He said, and you got to be the soldier in the midst of the war to even understand that.
Hmm.
And if you ain't been through none of that, then you can't be a blessing to impact nobody, even with your gifting. It's of no use to you because you can't give anyone something that you don't possess yourself when God has appointed you an assignment to do so. And what am I mean when I say that? I do believe that every single one of us has individuals that are attached to us. So one man's obedience is connected to another person's destiny. And that was the purpose and the journey God took me on and what he was teaching me. And what came out of that I didn't understand then, that I understand now, that he has been totally building and growing and just phenomenal. It's forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
it takes faith to forgive. It takes
Mm-hmm.
faith to forgive. It takes faith to really forgive. That's what the Bible means when it said, only the pure in heart shall see God. What that means is anybody in the medical field that knows somebody in the medical field, if somebody had an injury, anything like that, and they had to take a catheter and insert it in that particular person where they can urinate out, and what is the purpose of that? So that there's no impurities in those. So as quick as it drain in, it flushes out. So the word says offenses will come. Or people gonna do some bogus stuff. Stuff won't happen for no other reason that you can't even put your finger on explain it. It ain't gotta bet you did wrong and it was warned back to you. No, 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 no. And it's about really a lot of times it ain't about none of that. Being in the wrong place, wrong time, it ain't about none of that. It's life because you got good and evil that's fighting.
Mm.
As much as you try to do right and walk the right path, evil is still always present trying to trip you up. It's part of it. It's part of it. So it's telling you offenses will come, but warn to the person that set the offense. So what you got to do as a person, as quick as you incur, whatever it is, as quick as you got to throw it off you. Give you Bible proof. That's why Jesus was able to say at the end of everything was finally done and everything was completed, he was able to look at them and say, Father, forgive them because they know not what they do. Why was that so important for him to do that? Because he had to go in that graveyard for all humanity and come out that graveyard. He wasn't going to be able to rise if he had still stuff holding him. If he still had resentment for how they beat him all night with a cat of nine tails. And
Mm.
it locked into your skin and it ripped your skin and tore you could see the whitening to the bone.
Mhm.
Where the recording of the theologians say his entrails was hanging out. And he was still able to stop process of death and look to one of the thieves and say, today is recorded. You shall be with me in paradise.
Mhm.
And be able to say, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Dude.
So that when I go on this ground for all humanity, which is just representing those who are asleep in Christ will be resurrected, and those who will be live when he comes. That's all that's representing him, the purpose of him going in there. And the thief on the cross didn't have a chance to go get baptized. So Jesus being baptized by John, his cousin, signify that. So that covered that. That's all that is. So he had to go on the ground so nothing would hold him. But if because Jesus would have felt some type of way, what Judas did, sold him. What Peter did, we fellowship, we was brothers. And you just saw me do all that. You said yourself that I was the Christ, the Messiah. The Holy Spirit spoke to you. And then when it came down for you to make a stand, you denied 3 times that you ever even kicked it with me. We ever fellowship. When
Hey,
I was in the Supreme Court, which is representing the Sanhedrin, being judged and all that, then they took me and they whipped me all of that. He had to as soon as get it off you. Whatever you incur, you have to get it off. But it takes faith, real faith, that God teaches you how to. That's truly forgiveness.
mm.
When they can step in the room, you can hear their name, and they don't adjust your thermostat.
Mhm.
Hey, brother Muse, I hate to interject, but before
Oh,
this thought,
I yield back. You go ahead, Crook. I'm good.
no, I just wanted to say one thing, and I'm gonna get on, but it just hit me, and I'm gonna get back because you laying, I'm picking up what you laying down. But even though you may not have any biological children,
Uh huh.
but um, it's a verse that Cameron said, "Our father, the fathers that fathered the fathers."
Mhm.
You got so many children by way
Hmm.
of spirit that you probably don't even realize. I know it's something that you do know about,
Right.
but I'm telling you, you got a lot of children in spirit that you touch their lives throughout your life, that you
Yeah.
and that should be celebrated because you give so much wisdom and so much, you know, game on life in general. You know what I'm saying? That just in spirit and intelligence in the game that you be dropping. You know what I'm saying? That right there inspires children that you came across or women you may have dealt with that probably call you daddy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They children. You
Yeah,
feel
that
what
is
I'm
happening.
saying?
Yeah, that is happening.
Yeah, I know it. You know what I'm saying? So that right there in itself, man, we got so much. Like it takes a village. You know what I'm saying? To raise a child, and we lost that. That's an old
Yes.
African proverb.
Yes, yes, yes.
You
I
we
think we're
we
reestablishing it though. I think we're reestablishing it. It's just
yeah,
that the foolery, because of the bad spirit behind and manipulating it, the unseen is manipulating it, and all the foolery we get publicized and get recognition, and all that is just to distract and drown and try or an attempt to drown out and let you forget. You know what I mean? But as long as, in the words of Levi, as long as you stand 10 toes thorough and you
facts.
solid, man, you solid. You keep doing what you're doing. You
Man,
keep putting out the content. You keep, providing a place. A big Val, nephew Val always said, where you can come over here and you can get fed. You know what I mean? You can get fed. You can get some insight. You can get some game, man. You can get some life coaching. You can even look at it therapeutic. You know what I mean? You can
absolutely.
come over here. You don't have many places like that in this created social media era
Facts.
that's really on that. People are concerned about the bag. People concerned about the notoriety, the fame, the number. And the only reason they're doing that is because they still deal with validation. You
Mm,
know, it's because
Man.
someone in your household or your community failed to affirm you.
mm,
They didn't properly cover you. You know what I mean? They didn't navigate you through and let you see what this is like that. So as you get older, and even if you become a celebrity or famous or be famous for doing something great or impactful, it's still a deficit there. And we try to feel that that shape in our soul, I would say, the wells of our soul. I'm talking about that truly satisfied, that money can't satisfy. Nothing wrong with money. Money afterwards, a lot of stuff. When you understand money as a tool and you use it properly and you steward over it properly, it can be
mm,
a blessing or it could be a curse to you. You know what I mean? But houses and all that stuff in and of itself is not nothing evil or bad. Is that when you let that be the focal point in the end all be all that you're willing to do grimy, cutthroat to obtain it, or just to get it to make you feel like Lauren Hill said, true healing is from the inside out. You can't get it from the outside in. She said, we've been taught to dress up the outer. She said, when our inner is suffering,
mm,
you can't get it. You can't get it. You even, I say this and I'll solidify everything I just said, and I'm going to yield back like this and let y'all speak on what I'm about to say. Even in AA, 12-step program, all of that particular purpose that they provide, even they teach them in there that the
mm,
creator God created the human heart and soul in such a way that only he can fill it.
Mhm.
mm,
And if you go through this life trying to feel that with all that other stuff and you still broken, you just a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of material, a wealth of network of colleagues and influence, but inside you're still broken.
mm.
And you have to get to a point and get the courage to do one of the hardest things is for us as individuals to do. When we go through these relationships, these snaring this thing called life, it's hard for us, Brother Miguel, to go in the bathroom and look that person in the mirror and say, I forgive you.
mm,
Yeah, we dropped the ball. I made a mistake. I blew that. I messed up on that. Man, what was I thinking? Okay, all right. What's my next move?
fact.
Now let me get myself in the right environment. Big vow opinion, for
Mm,
starters. Let me get myself in the right atmosphere where I can receive something that can minister to my inner spirit, that can help me flush that out. Let me grab resources to read. Let me research podcasts that's talking about some of this goodness. Let me start evaluating friends and family. Love them, care for them, but now I'm on a new thing. So I must shift gears and go another direction. And know that when you do that, you're gonna hear some back talk. You're gonna hear all kind of crazy stuff. That's an indicator you have made a phenomenal change toward the right direction. That's what that means. And it's important for you to push through that because when you get on the other side of that, someone else needs that testimony that maybe Sir Miguel can't reach, Brother Crux can't reach because they don't have that particular perspective and the way they deliver it in such a way where it reaches your soul and say, Holy Spirit, thank you. That's exactly what I need.
mm,
Now the light switch is turned on. The circuit breaker has been repaired. Now you got energy, which is power now to move in the direction of the enlightenment that you got. So you got to grab all the material, all the resources, all the stuff, and keep feeding on that. Keep putting yourself in the atmosphere, and then get yourself someone that's willing to help mentor you, hold you accountable, that's gracious and kind, that has the temperament to help you navigate in the proper way. I yield back.
mm.
What's up? What's up, Lex? What's up, my brother? Happy
What's up,
early Father.
Lex?
What up? What up, Lex?
Well, that's what he must be trying to get his signal on. Well, anybody want to comment what I said or want to, build on that? I yield back.
Man, it was something that you said that I think that should be further explored as far as um like our fathers. And I noticed you said that your dad was, he was picking cotton at the age of 7 years old. And I look at, my father come up real hard. You know what I'm saying? And I look at a lot of things that he went through. He didn't have the capacity
Right,
to really show emotion
right. Yep,
in,
yep,
in, in, in ways that I may have thought that,
right.
I look
Needed.
at that
Yeah,
that was needed at certain times in my growing up that would have spoke to me and would have kept me, emotionally intact. Um, and like you said, over time, as you
mm-hmm,
get older, you
mm-hmm.
not only understand, but you overstand
Yep, yep,
what they went through and
yeah,
the sacrifices that they did. And you look at the good things
yeah,
that they did do,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, that helped contributed, you know what I'm saying, to our growing up or things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. But like I had to really examine that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of resentment that I
Right.
had to let that go.
I know what that's like. I know what that's like. And
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 it's
and
like, oh,
it's
go ahead. I'm
understand.
sorry.
It's I'm sorry. It's understandable. And thank you, Ashley. Um, please forgive me. Chat. You're right. I do have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I hold myself, to always try to be the best version of myself so that anytime I can share something, I'm always dropping something. But I do it in a respectful way when the invitation is extended to me. And I try to simplify it in the best way, um, and make sure I'm exhibiting that. If you know what I will, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So that's how I try to move. So anytime I come on, I feel I really believe in my soul, Crux, that I'm an ambassador in that particular regard. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand, and even though it took my father and others in my teenage years to recognize a gift that I didn't even know I had, because I went for so long feeling that I was undeserving and unworthy because I
Mm.
didn't understand how to navigate through mistakes and failures and you know what I mean, bad decisions. You know what I mean? And
Right.
think that it was the end all be all, and that was it, and that's who I am. You know what I mean? So then to have some people that's supposed to be your elders and your mentors, or well, elders and guardians, to say certain things and speak over you that's damaging during those crucial moments where you're transitioning. You know what I mean? You're like, wow. But then now that I pushed through that and got past that on the other side of that, wow. As many times life had broken me and I was seen to be shattered in so many pieces, that's how many people can get fed. Crux, are you on what I'm talking about?
I'm man. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
What I'm down.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
do you know how exhilarating it is, how powerful that is, and how much an honor now
Oh
that
yeah.
is? How much
Absolutely.
privilege that is that the creator can take me through all of that scenarios in the words of the late minister of music, James Moore. He was there all the time.
Mm.
God was there all the time through all
Oh,
those scenarios.
even when you had no clue, he was there.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Over there in 1 Corinthians 10, what he said 10, he weighted everything that would come your way. He measured it and looked at your capacity to go through that particular process and testing to come out on the other side. He weighed that for all of us is what he does. And he said, you can handle that. If that in your lifetime keeps coming back full circle, there's a lesson that you're not trying to stop, drop, and roll and pick up and learn because it's needed for you to go to the next level. So that once you graduate through that life experience, you not only have to take that test again or life experience again, look at who you can impact and bless. That's what true living is all about.
Mm.
That's it.
That's
It's not
it.
about a house or a car or bank account. All of that stuff. Because when you have finished everything you're supposed to be doing, you can't take none of that stuff with you. So if
Facts.
I'm thinking and thinking that my life is consist of stuff, oh, you're gonna be in trouble. You're not gonna be satisfied, content about nothing. If that's what we own, if that's what it's about, look at the others that we see. Got everything and going through them scenarios. And we want to like, man, you got it. You can come back you 10 times over. You can have a lifetime of what you got all of that, and they going through, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a deficit that was never addressed, and it crux. It don't go nowhere. It just get a bigger, become a bigger monster. It just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Hmm. If you don't come to some point where it can overcome
Oh,
and,
you about to talk to me?
it's self destruction. You're headed for self destruction.
Woo, there it is. That song is. That song is. See, do music like that. Now you can see why it was strategically done to 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 take away certain music that was impacting us and our community,
Mm,
that was really building us. You see the attack? You can't
mm.
just look at it in the natural. That's in a spiritual thing, man. So that's why it gets you caught up with all the foodery and fight with kids. You got to fight with the sister. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just got to slow life down, man. And
Yeah,
sometimes
sometimes you do it.
got,
And I be needing.
man, go
That's
ahead,
why
bro.
I love this platform, bro. Because I come over here and I get fed. I be needing the word. You know what I'm saying? And it get me back on point. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all y'all brothers and sisters that, you know what I'm saying, we able to speak in real time and have these dialogues. 'Cause
I
you
just
know,
had dreams about stuff like this. Cause I used to daydream and just wish and just hoping, like, man, it'd be something if we could have, not knowing something like this was even when the social media even came about, and to get to this period right here and be looking back sometime when I'm listening, you know what I mean? I'm at work in the bushes and like I am at now, and I'm just sitting here like, wow, we finally get, man, look, wow, I can't believe this, and no disrespect for no other platform that's doing their thing. It's all love. We all have a piece of the
that's
jigsaw puzzle.
dude.
But wow, man. Woo! And then the reality of it kicks in, cause that it's going to be a dogfight to maintain this goodness on this platform because you're gonna have these, you're gonna have those ones
Yeah, yeah. You
because
know.
they blind, they under deception. They didn't chose to give themselves over to that foolery. You
Hmm.
know, they deceive.
Yeah, yeah. You
It
know.
be really damaging and really dangerous. So you got to be able to be very, wise how you deal with that. You know what I mean? And let you know, hey, that ain't gonna be tolerated here. But at the same time, your heart and soul goes out for that person because you know that person got to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it,
Yeah,
it ain't nothing.
do
It ain't
pain
nothing
to the
but all love at the end of the day. It ain't nothing,
bro,
ain't no love lost. But it's just like, man, we going through so much, we ain't got time for it.
bro.
It just ain't no time for it.
You can look at man the countries, what's going on in the world, man.
It's too
I
much
don't have
going on, man.
time for that. And that's how you know people are under real heavy deception, man. But you got to have an awakening, and you got to use your power of choice. It's not about it. To call for help. Hey, I saw this thing. It was on YouTube, and I looked it up on Amazon, and it seemed to be something that's been out for some time now. I don't know the time frame. It's an animated film piece. The guy name is Charles Mackesy, I think his last name is, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me for not pronouncing it right. But it's something that's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. So a little boy get lost, whatever, and he come across this mole, this animal called the mole. They go on the ground, all that, and then he runs into this horse, and it's really displaying the different dynamics of what we experience and we deal with as individuals. Powerful, powerful, uh, very simple, but yet so powerful. The meaning behind it. And so the boy is walking alongside, and the fox is walking alongside of them. Because now they can become all friends. And the mole is on top of the animal. Mole is on top of the horse. And walk. So the boy asks the horse, "What it? Ooh, man, whew, powerful, man. Crush. Listen to this. Listen to this. It's gonna be so simple, but it's gonna blow your mind." The boy asked the horse, "What was the bravest thing that you've ever said?"
Mm,
And you know what the horse said?
that's a good question.
What would your response be to that? What is the bravest thing you've ever said? Talking about life and our journey, and you know what I mean.
Mm,
When you go through this course of life and you try to maneuver, try to figure it out, and you trying to do all of this, and you run through this scenario, you run through that scenario, and you're trying to achieve this. I'm just trying to help you out, give more examples. So you can imagine, dealing with some whatever it is in life, man, whatever we go through, all the stuff we've been talking about, all of that.
hmm.
And the boy asked the horse, "What was the bravest thing that you've ever said?"
Wow.
And there was a silence for a moment, a brief moment, and the horse simply said, "Help."
Mm, wow.
Now tie it back into the R. Kelly case.
Mm.
Those accusers. You can even start with Miss Kelly. Yeah, no problem. And even we us individuals, because we all in the same boat. We all sinners saved by grace, by the blood of Christ. And if we accept that atonement, we accept that knowledge, that information, and we renew our mind to be born again, then we on the new path, and He covers all our past and all the things. We keep feeding on that goodness, so we can keep the bad that we used to do under control, and so that won't dominate us anymore. That's all this salvation is all about. That's it. That's it. But do you know what it takes for you to get to a point in your life where you can be able to cry and say, help?
Wow.
Give it to you another way. The Top Gun movie, part two, I finally saw it. Iceman was in the first one. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer got a high ranking position now, but it seems like his health is deteriorating. So during this time, him and Maverick, Tom Cruise character, they texting back and forth. That's how they communicate because his health is so deteriorated that it's messed with his voice. He can't talk. So it gets to a point where they bring Maverick in to help these new elite students. You know what I mean? As far as Maverick age is concerned, they kids. They young adults, they 20s or whatever like that. And so it's time for him to go see him. And so he goes sees him, and Maverick is still dealing with that ghost. He's dealing with the fact that he still kind of blames himself for his partner Goose passing in that plane. But all the investigation, everything was proven that he was not at fault. There was nothing else he could do. You know what I mean? But him having what he had, he kind of blamed it. He kind of blamed himself. So he struggled with that, and then have to come back and teach them. When he a firefighter, he's not the teacher. He had to face that again. So that you can imagine that was tough, and going through kids, and then he wind up meeting the class and talking to him, and come to find out Goose's son grows up, and now he's one of the firefighters. I'm one of the pilots that he wind up, holding back for advancement. So the young man got a beef with him. You know what I mean? But the young man don't know before his mother passed, she made a Tom Cruise character made a vow that he wouldn't go out like his father did. So to try to protect him as a father figure, which Tom Cruise character didn't have no children, he did that, but he didn't say nothing to him about it. So he just took the weight. He took the attack. He took the insult, brother Kelly. He took the attack. He took the insult. He took all the naysayers. He took everything. He stood in his truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying
That's
to help you
right.
out. I'm not talking about no movie. You know what I mean? So then he get finally to talk to Val Kilmer's character, who's like a top commander or stuff, which has been saving Maverick. The reason why he's still been around that long. But he finna die. His health is gone. He ain't gonna be around long. So he get to talk, and they talk about that. He said, "Well, the kids don't want nothing that I have to offer." Like that. Well, So they typing because Val Kilmer can't talk. He really can't talk. He can't look, but he can't talk. So he keep typing, and he put on the screen. Then it's time to let go. That's what he's telling Tom Cruise. Here it comes, JT. Here it comes.
Mm.
And they talking back and forth. They talking back and forth. And then he don't type no more because what he put on the screen, you see, he back to the same thing. He looked at the screen and he looked at Tom Cruise character, and he keeps saying up there, then it's time to let go. A lot of times we can't advance. A lot of times we can't achieve what we know we get in there because we don't want to let it go.
Mm.
What they did on Kahá, they was bogus. What I don't get, you got to let that go.
Gotta
You
let
got,
it go.
got to do whatever you got to do to find a way to heal.
Look like another case of TKO.
They don't have to free you. You got to free yourself. They not responsible for healing you. You have to heal yourself. So it takes faith in order for you to forgive. And that's a process that don't even feel like you even forgive. But in time, God can show you that. Christ went through on that cross when his intro was hanging out. Unless somebody has done something to you like that, whatever it is should be somewhere way below that. So then he looked back at the screen again and said, then it's time to let go. And here it comes. And here's how you know Maverick finally got it, and he was growing, and he was getting to that healthy place, and now he was ready to help these kids. And he said out of his mouth, he looked at Val Kilmer and looked at the screen of the laptop, and it said, "Then it's time to let it go." And Maverick said out of his mouth, "I don't know how." That's the first start. Remember what I just said, where the boy asked the horse, "What is the bravest thing that you've ever said?"
Mm.
Help. Do you know
Right.
what it takes for you to get to that point? Then, whatever I have to present to you, like the man at the pool of Bethesda, I can just heal you. I knew you was there for 38 years because of who he was, who Christ was. So, like, okay, then it said the scripture, the theologian said you already knew that. So why would you come to earth and then go through all your ministry and get to this point at this time of the day, purposely go the way to meet this guy, and then ask him a question that seemed like you already knew the answer to the question. Why would you ask him? You could just heal him. Why you have to go through all of that? It don't make no sense. The man was sitting there, "Do you want to be here?" And the man giving all these excuses, but oh, when I try to do it, I can't get nobody to help me in the water. Somebody jumped down in front of me. They ain't nobody. That ain't what he asked them. Will thou be made whole? He didn't. He didn't say, "Do you want me? Do you want me to heal you of your cerebral palsy?" Because he could have healed him. Crux, he could have physically healed him. But
Right.
Christ want to take care of the whole entire woman and man, your whole self, not just a fraction of you. He want all of you to be whole. Them dark places that we try to hide and we shove in the corner and we think nobody don't see, but it comes out in our speech and our attitude and our decisions. You're
Yep.
still not whole. You're still not healed. You still got a deficit. You still
Yep.
need to be affirmed.
Absolutely.
So crowd help and say, I don't know how. Okay, now you're at the starter point. Now we got to break through. So they asked him, he
Mm.
said, yeah. He said, yeah, Lord. So then he told them, take up your bed and walk there. In other words, get out that situation. How many times that
Mm.
person got going upside your head before you realize this ain't for you? How many times that person got to keep screwing you over till you got to break those ties?
Mm.
He knew he could heal them and make them hope, but he wanted to know what he wanted. In other words, when he presented what he presented to him, the help presented to you, what's available, all the resources, the platform to heal you, are you in the state of mindset of renewal that when this information hits your spirit, man, you're going to move with everything you got, or
Mm.
you're going to still stay in that same scarcity mindset and defeat. Woe is me, woe is me.
Talk to him. Yeah.
You're going to get up and do whatever you got to do to get out that situation. But first, before you move, like you said, you repeat it, and we repeat all the time, you got to have a heightened sense of awareness.
Mm.
I yield back to you, Jake. I yield back to you, JT.
Absolutely, bro. Um, I mean, I'm at a loss for words because ain't much to be said after that as far as what we were dialoguing about. It's like the whole thing, the whole example of what was the strongest thing you could have said, the bravest thing you could have said in your life is help. Being in a point where you able to say and humble yourself. See, we got so much pride. You know what I'm saying? We got so much, um, and I think that ties in to the original topic that Big Vi um illustrated as far as with the fathers and stuff like that. Like it took a lot for me as a young man to humble myself, and as I got older, it took a lot for me to just me speaking as an individual and have a conversation with my dad to really just be like, okay, I ain't got to put on a facade or act tough or You know what I'm saying? I could be me and express myself fully. And we had that moment, you know what I'm saying, where we just both,
I can relate to that. We went through the same thing. Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, and that is necessary. So when you see um brothers active in their children's lives, especially sons, it early on, they had that moment. I mean, it can stop a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, most definitely, most
It
Yep.
can stop
definitely.
a lot of bullshit. Just like Big Val say, man, I got that call. I turned around. It was a 2-hour drive, and I turned around another 2 hours because I knew he knew that was a crucial moment in his son's life that he had to show up
Most
and
definitely.
show out.
Most definitely. If I would have let him got away with that, especially after you just promised me you finna go to school and do the right thing. I turn around and say, all right, well, I'm gone, and I'm traveling 2 hours on my 12-hour journey and get a call to say, you done got suspended. I was hurt because you promised me, but then you got suspended. So now I got to straighten you out.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, my son, he was 7 then, he 11 now. And he warned the others, about that ass whooping that he got that day. You do not want to make dad mad
Mm-hmm.
because, and I tell my kids, like,
Say it again.
and I think the biggest thing that I tell my kids is that the things that I went through. I asked my son, how old you is? I'm 11. Oh, I'm 13. I'm 14. I said, man, let me tell you something. When I was 13 years old, I was a kid that didn't believe in death. I knew my grandmother, my great grandmother died, but there's one thing. But I didn't think that kids could die.
Mm.
I'm talking to my son when I'm your age. I didn't think that kids could die until the day I saw them put a sheet over my best friend. I lost my best friend at 13 years old. He drowned.
Mm.
I called my mama while I was on this live one day and told my mama what transpired the day that my best friend drowned. Me and my best friend was together the whole day. In a matter of 30 minutes when we separated, he lost his life. I was 30 minutes away from being in the same place that God separated me from. And at that moment is when I understood the higher power do exist. Because I was gonna go swimming, knowing that I couldn't swim. But just because my friends was going, I was gonna go. And when my friends got in, I was gonna get in. Just so happened that was the wake up call for me because I was giving my mama hell, fighting, doing everything, but I'm doing what my friends doing. I grew up in a household with domestic violence, so I couldn't help my mama. But when I went to school, I whooped somebody else's ass. I'm not a stranger of it. This is my life. I lived it. That's why when me and women, I don't argue with a woman. Women, are you scared? You a coward? I will get the fuck up and leave. I don't have the time for you.
Mm-hmm.
Before I put my hands on you, I will leave you alone. I know what that felt like for me growing up. So when I went to school, I expressed my hurt on other kids, and then I lived in the project, so other kids will see this. They'll make fun. Oh, your mama got beat up. Okay, I'm finna beat your ass. How about that? My mama didn't understand that while I was fighting. She was always whooping my ass because I'm defending her. But hey, it's life. But to be able to tell my kids these stories, your dad became this man because of what I did before. I don't want y'all to have to go through that process. You know, I watched, I spoke at my best friend's funeral at 13 years old. That shit changed my life forever. I used to have braids in my hair, man. I wouldn't cut that shit off my head, everything. I used to make F's and D's in school, fight all the time. I was a fucking terrible kid, man. That moment changed my life forever. Man, I
Mm.
was making B's, A's, and B's. I never knew I could even make it. I always had the potential. What people would tell me, you got the potential, but I never exerted it
Mm.
because I was so mad every day I went to school because of what I was going through at home. That shit, man, I didn't do shit.
I 1000% concur and went through that. I
Absolutely.
can relate to that. 1000% I can relate to that.
I wasn't doing it, man. So my kids, I talk to them, and they see it when they see some of my friends. They be like, "Man, y'all dad was hell." You know, me and my best friend with them type. We were best friends. You ain't had a best friend until you had a best friend that y'all fought every day,
Mm-hmm.
but y'all were best friends. Y'all would fight each other, then turn around and whoop somebody else's ass. Like me and him were best friends like that. Like his mama, my mama worked in the cotton gins together. So every morning I had to go to his house or he had to come to my house. We would catch the bus together. We was in the same grade together. Everything like we was tough. Like my mama say, you a follower. Everything he go because his mama there was the difference. I think that saved me also because my mama got on my ass every time I did something. His mama was totally different. She never disciplined him about nothing that he did that was wrong. She was always upholding him in his wrong. And I heard Unc said, I remember my mama telling me I'll be dead or in jail, wasn't gonna finish school. But I understood as an adult, when I look back, I understood why she said that. But as a child, I said, man, my mama don't even love me. You know, I remember the day the man that used to cause my mama so much pain, that caused me and my sister so much pain. Man, I was 16, 17 years old. I got a hold to a gun just in the streets. Got a hold to a gun. I seen this dude one day, man, he walked up to me. He was, man, I want to apologize. Man, I had it right in the middle of his forehead. I promise. I put this on my life, my dead grandma grave. Lord can take my life right now as I speak. Man, bad as I wanted to do it, man, my mama begged me not to do it. That man just didn't know how much pain he caused me in trouble. He caused me having to fight every day, protecting my sister. Couldn't help my mama. My mama begged me not to do it. She say, son, God got it. Man, well, let me tell you something. I felt bad because a month later, this dude went and barricaded some people's house, bro. Put a vehicle in the front of the door so they couldn't get out and set a fire at the back door, burn the house up, man. He killed 3 people.
Mm.
Same dude that I was finna shoot and kill. Then this man got on the news and said, anybody who know who did this need to come forward. And they got this fool on the camera buying gas, putting it in the gas can. He was the motherfucker who set the people's house on fire.
Mm. Wow.
So when I try to take my kids and tell my kids about my life and tell them like, man, look, bro, y'all daddy be fussing a lot. I fuss because I know what I know if I don't fuss, what it can lead to. You're not finna raise yourself around me, man, because I understand what it takes to make it out of these situations. And that is to prevent them situations from happening.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I come on here and I speak the way that I speak. I don't speak because I just talk it, man. I done lived it. I done seen it. I love my mama to death. And like I told my mom when I became grown, I asked her, why did you say I'll end up dead or in jail? She said, because I always wanted what was best for you. And she knew When I grasped that concept that she said, what she said, I'll be dead or in jail and wasn't gonna finish school, that made me complete school. That made me get my shit together. That made me graduate. That made me want to be somebody. Everything she said I wasn't gonna do, I wanted to prove her wrong. I said, "Wow, she used reverse psychology on me when I didn't even know what it was." Now, did you catch that?
Mm.
Everything she said I wasn't gonna do, I challenged myself to prove my mama wrong and achieve a high school diploma, achieving success as a father. Knock on wood, never been in the system before.
Blessings. That's a testimony, and like you said, to have children and administer to them. I went through it, so you don't have to go through it.
Facts. Facts.
That's a
Facts,
blessing.
And,
bro.
and I'm gonna piggyback off something that 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 Jeff and Brother Muse was saying earlier, talking about help, and then you're talking about a father's story. And Big Bob pretty much said the same thing. When you can explain to your children how you grew up and the things you did, it not only makes the relationship better, but you're also letting them know that you can come to me for help.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem is
Mm.
with a lot of the fathers born in the late 30s, 40s, they had so much pride that they didn't know how to ask for help. So they
Have a
took
good
that
night, Top
pride
Down Fam.
and they used that in terms of being so what we call tough love to not let their shield down to ask for help so they can be loved because if they asked for help, they felt like they were less of a man. So if you fast forward today to brothers that's able to get on panels and discuss what it means to them being a father, and it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to express those vulnerabilities. Your kids will love you even more when you're expressing your vulnerabilities versus hiding them and not speaking the truth and who you really are. Because it's easy to put up a facade through pride and think you the toughest dude on the block, but you're actually the weakest dude on the block because your emotions are speaking louder than your feelings.
Mm.
I'll leave it at that.
And that right there, man. I'm saying like that's the real this. I'm so happy that this live and I was a part of it. Salute to Big Vi and everybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Brother Muse, Sir Miguel, Lex, everybody.
Excuse me, I'm at work. I'm punched out. Excuse me, punching in. I'm stepping in, Miguel. Denver did it. Denver did it.
They did.
Oh,
They did
hey,
it. They did it. They did it.
world champs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ah, man. Oh, man. I can imagine how that feels, man. Oh, I
Hmm.
want to, man.
Man,
Forgive me.
It's all good, brother.
hey man, got some great food for thought, some great knowledge of self.
Hmm.
Salute to all the fathers. And like I told Brother Muse, even if you don't have biological children, by you being the man that you are, man, you the father of so many children you don't even have a clue. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And just to have, that level of overstanding and I know you didn't touch some lives. And that right there is that village that we once had that I like brother Sir McGill said we getting back to. It's man, it's just refreshing to have these conversations. these dialogues, and man, we need to do it more often. You know what I'm saying? And speak on fatherhood more often. Speak on how the importance of having that male positive male figure. And what if the father's not there? Some positive male figure needs to be there, and it motivates me to to know that children that if even if I don't even if I can't be there as much as I want to be like I am with my own children, I could be some type of um positive male figure in other children's lives. That right there, man, means more than we would even know. It's people that
Hmm.
came across my life, you know, that had more influence than they probably even realized. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to keep on the back of our mind. Now I yield back.
I agree with you, brother Jeff. It's an honor and it's a blessing to even be here today, to even be above ground this morning, to even have this type of conversation. And more
Absolutely.
importantly, man, when other brothers can come together and talk about these things, not only the world has gained a new life, but men have gained new life within themselves and they're walking their journey. So that other people can hear and reflect and go, you know what? That conversation, I need it. Because every pebble you drop is gonna hit the ground and somebody's gonna come by and water it so it can grow. And that's all we doing, brother.
Mm,
The seeds are being planted, but somebody gonna come water it and grow. And that growth comes through our children when they see us living and learning the mistakes and the grind and the beauty and the prayer at night, the prayer in the morning, and so forth and so on. Because one thing I understood a long time ago, even when I was in high school, when mama pray is one thing, but when daddy pray it's another thing because the devil's on the run. And the reason being because daddy done stepped up and to be the priest of his household.
mm,
And see, when daddy can lead like that, the devil don't want to see daddy come because he know his other daddy is leading the front. But when it's only one daddy leading, all hell can break loose. But when no daddy's leaving, death is knocking at the door.
absolutely.
I'll let that marinate a little bit.
Absolutely. Man, powerful, powerful, bro. Like I really appreciate you, brothers, man. This has been an epic live. Salute the Big Vibe once again for even bringing this topic and bringing it to light. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to continuing this. Um, man, we can man we be having so many different conversations. You know what I'm saying? It's so enlightening and so positive. Um, like you say, all of us, the three of us, have graduates this year. You know,
Hmm.
those children could be doing something else, but they graduated. That's a celebration in itself.
Yes,
So that,
sir.
and I didn't even know that. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, because my son this morning told me I was taking him off to the jump start for high school. He was like, Dad, some people didn't even get promoted. I said, what did I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Man,
when I transferred schools for college my junior year, Dr. Hackley said, who transferring? Some people raised their hand. He said, who's the freshman? Everybody raised their hand. He said, okay, for y'all that's in the room that's transferring, and for all this freshmen, stand up. He said, look around this auditorium. He said, half these people you're not even gonna see no more. He said,
mm-hmm.
you know why? Most of them ain't gonna graduate. He said, and as for you transfer students, maybe a handful of y'all gonna graduate, but the majority of y'all ain't gonna make it because y'all gonna quit. And I be
Mm,
damn, bro.
He was dead ass on point.
When did you have that conversation? At what point did you have that conversation in life? What college, right?
Yeah.
Imagine me coming into sixth grade, middle school. My sixth grade teacher, Mr. Bryce, I'll never forget this man. That man had that conversation with us in sixth grade. Take a look at the person next to your left, to your right, behind you, and if it's someone in front of you, them too. He say, I'm here to tell y'all that some of these people you see in this room today ain't gonna be here when you make it to the 12th grade. Some gonna be in jail, some gonna be quit, some gonna be, and I'm like, man, this man talking out his ass. This sixth grade now. The next year, seventh grade summer, I lost my best friend. Like, what the fuck? Start of the school year, my cousin had a fight with another guy that lived in the projects with us. The kid hit his head on the corner of a desk. They sent him home. He said he had a migraine. Went to the hospital. They told him, oh, he just had a headache. Sent him home. Never woke up. So this is middle school. Two kids I know from the projects that I grew up in passed away.
Mm.
Eighth grade, got to eighth grade. The homies I used to run with, they decided to break into the school. They ended up going to jail. They got sent up the road. I found myself sitting on the bleachers by myself and like, man, what the hell?
Wow.
Out of all the dudes I used to be around, I was the only one that did not get in because my mama, bro, I dedicated to her at that time in my life. My mama stayed on me, man. I wasn't out in the streets, wasn't able to do the shit that my friends was able to do. Because if I would have been, man, I would have been breaking and entering and doing everything they were doing. But I remember my sixth grade teacher telling me that, and man, all of it became true, man. My best friend, and we would call ourselves the Three Horsemen. And you'll see them on this thing right here, man. I got some clips up here. Now, this is from when I played football in high school. That's me right here with the white shirt on. That's my best friend. That's one of my best friends. You see this player of the week is when I played football. Me and him, we still tight. This one right here, that's on this clip, on this picture with me. He was the quarterback, I was the running back. And this is my other homie right here. Well, this dynamic is so crazy, right? On the last clip, me and him, both of us was raised by single women. Now, this is my best friend who was raised by his mom and dad in the same household. Can't stay out of jail to this day.
Mm.
Just, I mean, went down a completely different path in life. You know, everybody used to count me and my best friend out because we growing up a single parent household. We were some knuckleheads, we were tough, but man, we turned out to be some firm young men, man, and hard working, go getters, working. He work in the oil field. I work in the pipeline industry, and it just goes to show you, man. Like I done seen it, even with two parent household, a kid still turn out not to be good. You know, I guess in my situation, I guess it was just I was more eager to succeed because of what I
Mm-hmm.
went through. And I look at my son and I tell my kids, you know, this the type of motivation you gotta have. I tell my son all the time, man, when you out here doing shit and you fucking up, ask yourself, is your mama proud of this? Or you should have a chip on your shoulder that say everything I do is for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gotta, you gotta succeed on my watch because your family on your mama side ain't finna be talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took him with him, and he ain't finished school. Now I'll be down. You gonna get that diploma. Now what you do after that is gonna be depending on your choices.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But
But I'm
I
gonna give
got
you the tools you need to succeed. Like my boy DMX said, man. You know what? That's a song, bro. It is crazy, man. I had, when I got my son, having my son with me, man. I think a lot of people, man. I don't know if people really, maybe people should just go and get the lyrics to that song and read it. I thought I had a rough life, and I thought I went through some shit. DMX, when I read the
Mm.
lyrics to that song, I'm slipping.
Yeah, my favorite
you.
song. One of my favorite songs by X.
I
Yeah.
said, ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. A
Man,
kid,
man, DMX. I read his book. I encourage everybody, rest in peace of DMX, to read his biography, Earl.
Mm-hmm.
That book, I swear to God, I read that book maybe 3 times. That book, Earl, by DMX's biography, is so captivating to see what that brother went through as a child and to survive the extremes that he survived.
man,
And he may have had his faults, but it's like Tupac said, the rose that grew from the concrete,
man,
even though it may have had damaged petals, but to look at his tenacity and will to survive and achieve the heights that he achieved, coming from the extremes that he came from, is amazing, bro. Like, and
Yes, sir.
just imagine if he had the support of a participating father, he probably wouldn't have went through half of the stuff that
mhm,
he went through. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar. That's why it's so important, and this live is so important to motivate fathers, parents, period, to be more involved in their children's lives.
mhm.
You know, so yeah, that song right there, man, it's heart touching.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more, man. And again, I want to say, Big Bob, thank you, brother.
Well,
I
definitely.
want I want to thank you for having this, man. I think at the end of the day, this whole thing speaks volume into the man you are, to the man you're becoming. Same for you, Jeff. I don't know if Lex still on here, but same for you, brother. Brother Muse, all you brothers, man. Because at the end of the day, man, we all are walking testimonies.
Absolutely.
We just have to keep pushing and ensuring that our young men that we raise and understand that this world that they finna face don't give a shit about them.
Yes, even more so crucial now, even more
You know what I
cruel
mean?
now than it
Yeah.
was when we were coming up.
And I think about R. Kelly, man, and y'all said it earlier, talking about he want to have a relationship with his kids.
That's what he
Mm,
said. I'm trying to have a relationship with my
You
kids, and
you
I
know
can't.
how powerful that is to just to even say that.
wow.
Mm-hmm. And
You can
what do they say in the hood? The mama used the kids to hurt the father because they know how much a father loves his kid.
you can hear it from the depths of his soul when he said it. And if you don't believe it, then I don't know what the hell you was watching. Because let me tell you something. When I look at my kids in the morning or my daughter may drop by, whatever the case may be, man, I just go, damn, this is my creation, man.
Mm,
I could either fuck it up or I can make it great. Gotta be great, man. You gotta break them generational curses along the way. Gotta
absolutely.
keep the spirit filled. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I just sometimes, man, I just sit here and cry sometimes, man. And it's not like a sad cry, just like a happy cry, man. Just to see your kids, man, from 0 to up to 15 to 23, 29, 30, whatever the case may be, man. You just sitting back and you watching. I get goosebumps just even talking about it, man. I'm sorry.
All right, I feel you 100%, bro. It's amazing,
And
you know.
I'm honored. I'm honored, man, to even speak on it. But I'm also honored to come in contact with you, brothers, man, because
Same here,
it's
bro.
it's very important, man, that we have continue to have conversations like this, and we
Mm-hmm.
continue to put the fuel to the fire because it's only gonna get better, then it's only gonna grow. So again, man, thank you all.
Well, then, man, I tell you, hey, the other day I was like you, Sir Miguel. I was on FaceTime with my daughter, and we on FaceTime and we talking. He said, "Say, Dad, check your phone. I text you something." I'm like, "Man, I ain't
Mhm.
finna check this text message. There's a bunch of shit, you know." So I go and read the text message. Kid you not, and she texted. I'm telling you, it was all put together. One, it wasn't no spaces in it or nothing. So
Mhm.
I go and read her text message. Let me go to it. See, she said, and my daughter ate. I was shocked because uh let me see right quick. She told me, she said, I love you so much. I will never forget you. And she got it all put together like in the one little text thing here, you know. So I'm like, man, my daughter just texted me. I was like, I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, but I was freaking out. Mom was like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, because I'm just, man, my daughter growing up. Like,
Mhm.
you know, this ain't no baby no more. Like, and the fact that she articulating herself and like when she texts me, I'm like, I thought it was gonna be a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of letters, and because she normally do the talk to text. So now she
Yeah.
ain't doing that no more. She literally texting the words out herself. And when she said, I love you so much, I'll never forget you, man, I was just like, man, it's just, and she, boy, I don't know, man.
Man, that's a beautiful thing.
I remember, man, my dad, he did what he could, and I don't hold it against him. Me and my dad have a great relationship. We always talking. He always there. Especially with me not being up north, like he is there. He help out a lot with my kids with stuff I need done or whatever. So he's great at it. He's a great grandfather, most definitely. I can't take that away from him. So, but my kids make me so proud, man. I'm telling you, man. If it wasn't for them, Ain't no telling, man. Well,
For
I be
real.
in life, man. It's because of them I work so hard and try to stay on the straight and narrow and do everything the legal way. You know,
Mm-hmm. Hey, Big Rock, you just, it's funny you said that, man, because I'm telling you, I don't think if I had, if I my, I don't think if my daughter and my son was born, shit, probably in my 30s, late 30s, shit, I probably
They'll
would have
change
called
your
a
life.
case. I probably would have called a case for real. You dig?
They'll
But
change your life for the better.
yeah, man, yeah, it did, man. It changed a lot for me. And again, just to hear you brothers speak on your children, man, that just it warms my heart, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Every time me and my son go to the park or go play hoops or something, I see a father with their son or their daughter, man. It damn it bring tears to my eyes, man, because you don't see enough of it. But when
Mm.
you do, you see that bond and that connection, man. Bruh, yeah.
Yeah, we coming up on what they call Father's Day, and you know, it's symbolic, but
mhm.
man, even though you know we all expressed that we're not big on it, I think that this was perfect timing to have a live like this to even discuss it.
It's gonna be a weekly, man. It's I got told Sir Miguel. I was telling him we was talking. I say this is gonna be a weekly topic, and it's so crazy. We only got about maximum people I seen here about 45. But you
Mm-hmm.
see,
Mm,
when you talk about bullshit, man, you can't keep people out of a lie. But when you talk about some real shit, the shit that
mm,
really need to be talked about and stressed, and pointed out. You know what I'm saying? It just show you the power of God, man. When God strains shit out like ice, when you straining,
Mm-hmm.
when you using that strainer, man, it show you what people are about, and and most importantly, how fucked up the world has become. Because if it ain't entertaining, then it doesn't gravitate to people's attention.
Facts.
Now I
mm,
could have came on here showing the Floyd Mayweather brawl and Jocelyn Hernandez, and there have been so many people in here. I'm gonna do it. I've been saying I'm gonna clickbait the fuck out somebody one. I'm gonna do it one day. I'm gonna do it just to prove a point, though. Just to prove a point.
right, get about 200-300 people in the chat. Be like, nah, I got y'all. We finna talk about some real shit though.
Yeah,
Be
just
like,
to prove a
it's
point.
like, see how dumb you is. You know what I mean?
This is what this
It,
is what the world think of y'all.
exactly.
This is what the government thinks of y'all that sits back and study y'all. They understand that this is what y'all gravitate to. We
Hmm.
talk about single fathers, and we can't get 75 people in the chat, 100 people in the chat.
That's
You know
that's.
what?
That
You
means
know
something
what's
to me.
I'm not surprised though because I was just having this conversation is about the music. You know what I'm saying? Like if the music is about the nonsense, that's what the people hold more responsibility to what they demand. The demand for like the artist to make more socially more social commentary type music is not there. They want to hear the BS. You know what I'm saying? So if you got if you complaining about there's not enough positivity in the music or entertainment, but if the people don't take it upon themselves to support that,
Mhm.
then you just gonna get more of the same. You know what I'm saying?
Guess what the live gonna be about on Father's Day? Last week, y'all heard I said I was gonna do a Women's Appreciation Day.
Mm.
So on Father's Day, I'm gonna do a Women's Appreciation live in honor of R. Kelly. For all of the women that has supported this brother throughout all of his endeavors, despite all of the rumors and everything that still has stood behind this brother and believed in his innocence. I know it's kind of, a lot of the shit that I sit back and I watch and I see and I observe, man, I just feel like if we gonna treat the women, if we gonna sit back and listen to women be treated or talked about in a certain fashion, then how about honor them in that same fashion, but better?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea.
So for all of the women in this R. Kelly sector, come Sunday, I'm gonna dedicate a live for you all, and I want y'all to come on this panel. You do not have to have a camera on and showing your face, but come and be a representative of yourself, y'all hard work, y'all dedication, y'all sleepless nights, restless days on these lives, in these chats, communicating with each other to say, you know what? Without the women, R. Kelly name would have died by now. Because it ain't the men that's keeping him relevant. Trust me. It ain't the men that's keeping R. Kelly relevant right now. It's the women that support him that is keeping him relevant. Because the niggas is hating. The niggas don't want to see him come out. The niggas want to see him found guilty. Trust me. So I know the power of the woman right now in this situation. It's the women that's keeping this thing going.
Best believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So come Sunday, I'm doing a Women's Appreciation Day in honor of R. Kelly, and we gonna play y'all favorite R. Kelly songs and have a good time and talk and I want to know why y'all support and why y'all choose to support. Especially people try to say, "Oh, y'all fanned out and all this." No, some people just see the injustice in this shit.
And let me say this for myself. I want to be on the right side of right. And what I mean by that, there is an injustice here. And I love his music. I'm going to continue to play his music. I'm going to continue to listen to his music. Because ain't nobody going to tell me what I can and cannot listen to. But it's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the justice system.
Mm.
Not only with this R. Kelly, but with other cats too. And if we don't continue to speak and have a voice on this shit, then nobody ain't gonna really hear us. Everybody want to run to social media and get attention for bullshit. So let's get attention for the right shit.
Facts. Exactly. Keep
That,
continuing to put the positive narrative out there. You know, it come with a bunch of fugaziness. People want to say this is it. The craziest shit is if it depends on who you support when it come to this Me Too movement thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
with Bill Cosby, it was like, oh, y'all must just be you know, something along the lines of he America's dad, but
Yeah,
if it's R. Kelly, oh, you niggas must be gay, you must like R. Kelly, or you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's
It's like
always a narrative, huh?
it's always some type of narrative. Like
But it's
it's
like I said the other
crazy.
day, though, man. Half of them people that's carrying the narrative, they running with what they heard.
Yeah, it's just wow how depending on who it is, they want to say certain things. You know what I'm saying?
See,
Uh, but it all revolve around being fanned out. It can't be that we see injustice. You know what I'm saying? being done to another brother. Like we not saying the man is an angel or a saint. We just saying if you gonna do the shit right, do the shit right. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna
Exactly.
charge him accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But you know what, brother Jeff? What kills me is when in this whole narrative, America's dad. Who the fuck came up with that shit anyway?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it was a blessing to have a black show on that was ran by him, produced by him, hired his own people to help produce the show, executive producers, so forth and so on. See, that's one thing about me. When it comes to TV, I don't look up to the people on fucking TV. I don't even fucking look up to entertainers.
Exactly.
So you want to throw that
Who did
narrative,
that narrative, man? Just like who made America's team.
right, right,
Like,
right.
like
So,
that go to show you where they come from.
so for those that want to go, oh, I looked up this. Hold on. First of all, we already knew that there were successful black doctors, successful lawyers in America. The only difference was he decided to put the shit on television.
Exactly.
Right during the time of the crack era and all this other shit. So
He was
all you
allowed.
cat, yeah. So all you cats that wanna, like, oh, he was America's dad and shit. Okay, well, guess what? My daddy was at home, good, bad, or indifferent. He went to
Hmm.
work every motherfucking day.
Exactly.
See, my first role models wasn't TV; it was my parents.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So y'all
Right.
want to follow the bullshit ass narrative? Go right ahead.
Right. See
See
that
how
that
far
that
it gets
that's those different shaming tactics that they try to use to try to make you like, oh, well, no, I'm gonna shy away from supporting or speaking out. You know what I'm saying?
you.
Uh, just like, oh, you must hate black women if you support R. Kelly. Like that's the most ridiculous talking point that you could ever say. Like, what one don't have nothing to do with the other. You know what I'm saying? And they spew this different rhetoric and the part that's so unfortunate about is that so many people fall for it. You got so many people that know it ain't right, but they scared to say something because of these particular shaming tactics that they perpetuate on the public. If you strong minded and you know something ain't right and you know for a fact you see an injustice, speak on it. Don't let
Mhm.
nobody shame you into not speaking into what you know for a fact is not right. You know what I'm saying? You know this man, it's impossible for this man to be a 30-year criminal enterprise by his damn self. You know that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You know for a fact that these people would not be out here lying about their age with fake IDs if he was seeking out teenagers and underage children. You know
Facts.
this don't even make sense. So don't let nobody uh, tell you or deter you from what you know for a fact is not right. You know, and it's gonna come with some bumps and some bruises, but stand up for what you believe in, stand on your truth, and continue to speak truth to power. You know,
Exactly.
Well, we done
Exactly.
chopped it up for shit, man. It's going on 3 hours. Got a hit in the
Already?
morning.
Damn.
Man, but when you having a good conversation, bro,
That's the beauty of it, baby.
man, time then flew. I know it was three.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I ain't even cooked dinner that night either. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's how we be chopping it up, man. I can talk to y'all brothers all night, man.
you know?
Brothers, brothers, brothers.
what up, Lex?
What up,
I
Lex,
Lex?
what up, man?
y'all been in here cooking, man. I didn't want to say nothing. I just let y'all go ahead and cook this thing up, but I'm gonna go ahead and one thing I'm gonna say is thank you for having me let me come in to enjoy this good cooking that y'all was doing, man. I had to pull up me a chair and sit down and enjoy everything, the sides and the meats and the appetizers and all that good stuff. But one of the main things I do want to say is, man, I'm proud of you, Big Bob, man, for keeping this thing going as long as you have, man. I'm very proud of you, man. Keep it up. Like I said, if I can come in and uh, shout a couple of words or two, I'll do it. Sometimes I can't come on right on when you drop the link, so I just try to come in when I can. But that's one of the main things that I did want to say was, man, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, and let's just keep it rolling. And for as the father's thing, I heard some of the conversation that you guys had, and I can also say that we need to just keep doing what we're doing and wrap our arms around our kids because they look up to us, and we just gotta keep that shield around them and keep showing them the right way because some of us probably had bad upbringings, not uh, fault to our own, but that's just the way it is. So we just got to give them that example that they need to have to try to prosper in the world because we do know how the world lives. They don't give a damn about anything but themselves. So we just got to keep it going. And these lives are going to try to help a lot of people, even the women too, and even the women that you try to keep your kids from their father, whatever the case may be. You need to it's rubbing off, and then they're going out doing uh, devilish things because they don't have a father figure in their life. They may have an uncle or something, but I mean, what's better than the uncle? It's gonna be the dad. And if you showing the dad away, then where they gonna go get the knowledge from? They gonna get it from the street or a friend, and that friend may have a dad or may not have a dad in the household who's not even there showing them the right way. So I'm asking the sisters as well. Y'all need to help us out. Help out that dad that needs to be around his kid. Don't hold that kid away from his dad because you mad at him. I mean, hey, it's not about you anymore. When you have that kid, it's about both of the parents trying to raise that kid the best of their ability. And it's
Mhm.
a lot of this going on now. You trying to use the money and child support to try to live off of, but you're not taking that kid and letting that kid see his dad for the weekend or whatever the case may be. And no, that's not right. And that's I feel
Andrea
like
Kelly,
yeah, I feel like a lot of that is
Andrea Lee. I mean, not damn.
yeah, I feel like a lot of that is why these kids are acting out because they're looking at maybe their friends have a two parent household and they're looking at it like, well, my mom and dad not here and they arguing all the time, so I'm just gonna go to school. I'm gonna act out. I'm gonna not go to class. I'm gonna go to sleep in class and just do stuff nonchalant because they upset. And when you dig deep into it, most of the time is because of the household. So I mean, I've took my son to school when he was going to elementary, and I kid you not, a lot of the teachers would always tell me in the PTA meeting, you'd be surprised at how these kids will come to school, they get dropped off, and you call home and tell the parent, hey, your son or your daughter is not doing their homework, or your son and daughter is misbehaving, and you know what the parent would tell the teacher? The parent would tell the teacher, well, hey, if you call me between 2 and 3 o'clock, that's your job. I'm watching my stories. So I'm like,
Mhm.
well, damn,
Wow.
what kind of shit is that? So
Mhm.
you send your kid to school like it's a babysitting type thing. That's what you call. That's why you send your kid to school because you think it's babysitting time, so you can watch your stories. So that's some of the mentality that we have in today's generation. I mean, I'm not saying all women do it, but some women are a detriment to some of the kids up to date, and we got to
Mhm.
change. We definitely got to change it. And to the brothers, uh, step up. You got to step your game up.
Oh,
You got to
definitely.
step your game up because you can't sit up here and have a kid and then be like, well, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna step back and I'm just gonna spend the money and send her the money and whatever the case may be, and I'm gonna let it be that. No, you got to be more involved. You got to put that time in. You got to put that time in. You got to have them life lessons with that kid because the kid ain't gonna learn nothing unless you teach it. And if they don't learn from you, they gonna learn from somebody else. And the person they learning from, it might be somebody that they don't need to be learning from. It might be a detriment, dangerous, and everything else. You might have them out there 5 years old learning something bad, and then by the time they get 10, they on their way down the road. And you sure don't want that, especially your offspring or nobody's offspring. But that's one of the things I want to chime in on, man, and just tell you, man, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you again, and all the fellas, y'all bringing y'all little knowledge to the table, and we all can learn from it, branch off, and share it to everybody else, and even the women. I mean, you guys can also uh, lend a hand and let us know that we are not alone because being a single father, which I was for so long, uh, and you're dealing with a child that has autism, it's hard work because you're not knowing if you're going to get the help you need and having to work 12 hours a day is hard work. And I'm pretty sure, I think you said, Sir Miguel, one of your kids had a little slight autism as well. I think you said that one time before.
My son. Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, having to go to all them art meetings and uh, PTA meetings and then trying to figure out assessment levels and things of that sort, then watching them graduate and then trying to find programs for them and uh,
Hmm.
watching them in Special Olympics play basketball and things like that. I mean, I was glad I was there to be there to watch it because it was very refreshing because most of the time you don't get a chance to do all that stuff when you're working 12 hours, but just so happened I was able to go to a different shift where I can watch all that stuff. So it's
Hmm.
always refreshing to see your kid, whether they special needs or whatever the case may be. It's always refreshing to see that. And then you can always uh, learn from what they're going through and try to pass it on to somebody else because another parent might see you doing something for your kids and that their kids are not even, I would say, not on the same level. And you can just give them some advice and they'll learn from you. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say, man. Because I know y'all getting ready to get up out of here, but I want to try to come in and do me a drive by at least. Put my little yeah, put my little stamp on it, man.
Yeah, definitely, Lex is well appreciated.
Appreciate it, Lex.
Right, right on, right on.
You most definitely touched on a surface that's gonna be touched on sooner than later, and that's when it's time to make a decision to keep the father away. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And I'm not saying that keeping the father away is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if the father don't want to change his ways, and he coming around like I said earlier with his pants down, smoking a backwood, got a liquor bottle, you know, he ain't consistent. You know what I'm saying? So when that shit started to take place, when that inconsistency started to take place, and the kids started to act out, the mama bear the blunt of that shit. So she got to do what's in the best interest of her and the kid. And then when that kid get to acting out, going to school acting out, the dad ain't picking up their phone when the school call.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
we're gonna have the difficult conversations because they gotta be had. But when we look at that R. Kelly situation, you just literally see a woman who used her kids just as a tool to, you know, defense mechanism against Robert. All because the shit was over with. But we gonna get into that topic. We're gonna keep having these father conversations each and every week. I'll probably just do a father Mondays. Probably each Monday we gonna have a father conversation, man. Father to father. And like I say, I dropped the link in the chat about 3 times today. So y'all women in the chat, they be coming in typing. Y'all need to go create y'all a stream, y'all, get y'all an avatar or something. You ain't gotta put your picture up there. But we want to have dialogue. We want to have a conversation.
We'd
Most
love to
definitely.
hear from you.
We would love to hear, some of y'all opinions and viewpoints. And we speak about what we speak about, and fathers as well. Like, and I also want to touch on, like, my sons were the first kids, and like my son have sisters, outside of my daughter. Got brother, my daughter has a sister. Like my kids have another sibling where the father is not there, and these other siblings, they look to me like I'm their father figure. But my kids be like, "That's my dad. That's not your dad." I'm like, "Don't say that to your sister, boy." I say, what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If she want me to be her dad, I'll be her dad. I don't treat her no different than I treat you. If I buy my son something, if that's with all of my kids, I'm not pulling up to their house with something for my child and I ain't got nothing for the other kid, man, because I know how that feel.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And if I can't do for your sister when I bring you something, I'm finna come and pick you up and take you with me. And we gonna go do what we gonna do, and then I will bring you back. But I dare bring something to their house and not have something for your sister.
Damn.
That's just me.
I agree with that 100%. That's a horrible feeling for a child to, and
And we see
especially,
results of it, Jeff. Listen to
yeah,
what R. Kelly said, man.
yeah. They don't know the damage that something like that would do to a child. The child is innocent. They don't have any control over, you know. So I couldn't imagine. And the mothers got to be they got to be cognitive of that as well. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
most definitely.
Damn, it's hitting like a mother.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. So, we gonna touch a lot of different surfaces with this father conversation, and we're gonna bring the mothers in here. We're gonna have that conversation. And I understand that we are much mature adults, and we can have that conversation in a proper fashion, and not like we are accustomed to hearing it all month, two, more going back and forth, making it into an argument. And no, no, we want to have this dialogue, and we want it to be clearly put out, good context. And like I say, man, I don't enjoy nothing more in life than being a father, man. And I thank God for I thank God for that ability, to recreate. And moving forward, guys, Sir Miguel, we standing strong. We still in here. Jeff, we still in here standing strong. Lex, we still in here. To all the single fathers, Shannon. Shannon, I ain't see him in the chat tonight, but Shannon and other guys that have reached out to me say, man, I want to be a part of it. So I don't think I'm gonna have to make a community post and uh get these guys to get these guys contact info. So when we having this panel, it could be up to 10 people on here. So we need to have five of us and five of them. 5 men, 5 women. And we had this dialogue, and this shit is gonna help us build. I got a feeling in my heart that this is gonna create a bridge for a lot, especially probably be single women in the chat that got young sons out here that may be bumping their head and need somebody to talk to. And you got me right here. You got Sir Miguel. You got Jeff. You got Uncle Muse. You got Lex. You got brothers that you can pick up their phone and call and say, "Can you just talk to them? At least try to talk to them."
Hey, take a village.
It takes a village, man. To see, the government want to take the village away, but we can still be that village without, despite what they are trying to do. Because, like I say, man, you could be only way you don't be a father is if you don't try to be a father. You know, my son, mama went all around the world, and guess what I was doing? Chasing her ass all around the world trying to get my son.
Mhm.
Oh, like I say, ain't no distance. Ain't no distance to keep me away but the ocean. Shit, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you in the United States, I'm on your ass.
That's right.
Put that track on them.
I'm telling you, with that paper and shit.
Gotta know, Jack.
I went down to the Family Justice Center. I had one of my sons with me filing papers to file a visitation papers for the other son. You know,
Mm.
shit, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
I mean, sad to say you got to use the system sometimes just like they do. So shit,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? If it ain't working out, I was fortunate enough that my kid's mother, we worked it out just as it is. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have to do no court, no child support, none of that. You know what I mean? Because when
Uh-huh.
I met her, she already had a 4-year-old, and I embraced her like she was my own. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Mm.
Yeah, ain't it refreshing that you don't have to sometimes go through a whole lot of stuff to raise a kid versus someone who has spent a whole lot of money and they still can't even see their kids. They
mm-hmm.
doing the absolute
Man.
best, and then the woman is keeping the dad away from the kid, and I'm like, well, he spent over thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're not even doing what the court people saying. You trying to move and hide, not show your address, and he
Yeah,
got
but
to
once they do
look
that
up.
though, if you'd have spent that much money to get a court order visitation and they leave the state, then you just gotta go down there and spend that money and report it because right there that's kidnapping.
Oh
If
yeah.
that court order say you supposed to see that child every other weekend and she up, oh yeah, it gonna be some. It gonna. You just gotta be smart about what you do. But
Hmm.
biggest thing I say when it comes to that court system, man, when them people first put me on child support, them people looked at me like I ain't lie, they did. I was defeated. They defeated me. I mean, I let it show. But when I got my shit together and got my head together, and we went back in that courtroom, and they seen me coming up with my son, mama, and we was together and we was talking. Oh, that woman, man! When she said I want to take him off, they pulled her to the side, brought her in the room, asked, "Did he threaten you?
Man,
Did you
hey,
not
bro.
see us coming here together?"
You know, my BM put me on child support in the dough, like, and over time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, my son wasn't even 1 year old.
Mm.
Mm.
And then over time, I say, man, I don't need these people in my business. You know, I just pay you out my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time he turned about 5 or 6, she took me off. I was like, I just give you that little money. Then, you know what I'm saying? The Yeah, they was writing her like, you sure you don't want to put them on? I'm in Cook County. Kim Fox office wrote her like, you sure you don't, this Kim Fox? I put his ass back on time. Hey, I said Kim Fox wrote you. See, I've been speaking up for Kim too much. They need Kim Fox to get up.
Mm. Oh boy,
But
boy.
see, but see but see that just goes to show you how fucked up the system is because soon as you lose your job or can't got the money come, they're gonna lock your ass up. Then you get a felony when it's actually a goddamn civil matter.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? I tell cats all the time, man, if you can find you a mediator, sit down, draw up the papers yourself with the mediator,
That's
and come
it.
up with a plan and keep the courts out of that shit. Because
That's
all
it.
it is they're making money off of you, and soon as something don't go right, they finna come pick your ass up. They're gonna take your
Yeah,
passport, the
your
whole 9 yards.
license, all that, man. I've been without a passport. I done did it all, man. Cause I was bitter, man. That man, I'll tell you, bro. Man, it's that the way that they allow this system to be used, man. This system is used maliciously as a weapon, bro. It's not
Hmm.
for any dad that's active and want to be active should not even qualify for this shit.
Nah, it's definitely one sided, and it's not fair. It's not. They don't take enough time to do their investigation to even see if it's necessary. Because,
Mhm.
like, for my BM to be like, I want to take them off. What been like your BM was like, I want to take them off. We got to figure it out. For the government to continuously try to convince them. So if they get mad at you at one point and just be like, yeah, I put at the end, they want to take you off. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through all this. They got too much power just because they in their feelings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. Is you are you being a father or are you not? Are you holding up your end of the bargain or not? It shouldn't be based upon whether she mad or upset and you try to coerce her. And it just go to show, like you said, like how Kale's situation was. It's like it's not about him taking care of his kids at that point. It was about we could turn the mother against the father. And that's when them people got too much power in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And also,
Okay.
you can I got a guy I work with. He has custody of his daughter, and she was trying to put him on child support while he got the daughter, but she's staying with him. So he told me that they went to court, and the court was trying to get visitations for him to come to the house and do a little evaluation and everything and see how he living. And he told me he ended up spending a whole lot of money to try to get everything resolved. And then the BM decided that they want to go ahead and drop the case because she knew the daughter was being well taken care of. And every time it's time for school to start, she wouldn't even buy any kind of school clothes, don't even help out or anything like that. So it goes both ways. It's not just the dad that has encounter problems trying to get get money to the kid to make sure they have all the things that they need. Sometimes some of these women, they can be shady and shifty too. You already got this court system on your side, but then you don't want to work out your end of the bargain. You don't even want to come over and pick up your daughter when you're supposed to on days that they told you to come do it. You just want to get out there and party. It don't work that way. But like we
Right.
say, the court system is on y'all side, so y'all can get mad and so y'all want to put him on child support or whatever the case may be. If he get a raise, oh, I get a raise. But where's the money going? Do y'all have a card? Can y'all come out with a debit card so I can know what y'all doing with the money? Just so you can know. Well, you got $200 a month, so I know this $200. I can look on my app and say, well, she spent money on school clothes or took the daughter to do something, not go to the club and get your hair and nails done. That ain't what it's for.
Exactly. It should work both ways with that. I
Right,
totally agree.
right,
We most definitely gonna be able to touch them bases on the next live, and I'm gonna text y'all in the group chat and see what should we base it off the next topic. Sir Miguel, you want to pick the topic next Monday, but it's gonna be about father. So you want to direct the topic, just text me, let me know what it is,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. Then next week after that, Jeff, then Lex, and then we just rotate the topics around like that. That's how we gonna keep
right,
creating topics. You know,
right, right.
Right on.
we gonna
I'm pretty
attack
sure we
from
get.
every angle we can attack from.
Yeah, we get. I'm pretty sure we get a lot of good feedback on it. Cause I mean, this is the next best thing going now because the news media all they gonna talk about is a whole bunch of bullcorn. So it's time to move on to something better and something different because
Mhm.
you get tired of seeing the same old screwed out stuff. So might as well do something for our own people. So there's something they can relate to.
Exactly.
Facts. Well, I'm finna lay it down. I got a 4 a.m. start, so
All right, so our brothers, man. Peace and blessings to y'all, brothers. Everybody in the chat, man. It been a excellent conversation. I enjoyed every minute
I
of
agree.
it, and man, can't wait to the next one, man. And man, God bless everybody, and we gonna chop it up sooner than later.
Right on,
Absolutely.
man. I enjoyed the
Salute, salute.
buffet tonight, man. It was good, man. It was a great one. So until then, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and blessings.
For sure.
One love.
One love.
For sure.
Well,
We'll be back Wednesday. Sir Miguel, topic on you next Monday, brother.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Everybody in the chat, shout out to y'all. The best chat on the YouTube streets. I tell y'all every time, man, I'll take y'all to war with me any day. Um, Make sure y'all go check out the Kingpin and Crooks next Saturday. Y'all live next Saturday, Jeff?
I think he dropped off.
He dropped off. Okay, well, make sure y'all go subscribe to Kingpin and Crooks show. We be back here Wednesday, and Wednesday we're gonna be talking. We gonna go check out old Vicky. What's her name? Vicky
Vicky Dillard.
Dillard. Yes, we gonna check out one of Vicky Dillard's videos that was sent to me today by our sister Lisa Mo. Shout out to her. And we gonna do a little watching and see what she talking about. Andrew Wyatt exposing Charlemagne the God.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, matter of fact, Andrew White just dropped some shit on Wallow today too.
yeah,
Yeah. He
man, you gotta
said,
send it to me.
"Okay, I'll send it to you. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll send it to you."
All right, then we'll have that commentary for Wednesday.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So, all right, man, that's a
All
wrap. I'm
right.
gonna shut it
For
down,
sure.
man.
Me
Just shoot
too, brother.
it whenever you come up with a topic, just shoot it to me. Shoot
Okay.
it to me shoot it to me in a like direct text, and then
Yeah.
I'll put it in the group chat I'll
Got you.
put it in the group chat.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Out.
There you have it. Jeff say my bad. We definitely live Saturday night on Kingpin and Crook Show. Gratitude everybody. All right. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all for coming. It's been a great one.